In what has been a tight and low-scoring series, the Carolina Hurricanes lead their Eastern Conference semifinal series against the Washington Capitals 2-1. But Washington wants to use resiliency as a confidence booster heading into Game 4. It's important that the Caps continue that trend because going down 3-1 would stack the odds against them. But the Canes are confident too, especially at home, where they're 4-0 in the playoffs after going 31-9-1 in the regular season. And it helps that Freddie Andersen gave up just 3 goals on 55 shots for .99 GAA and a .945 save percentage in this series. Hello everyone, I am Alec Nava. Welcome to Raleigh, North Carolina, where the Hurricanes, led by Andersen, look to go up 3-1 in this series. Andersen leads all goaltenders in this year's postseason of a .155 GAA and a .945 save percentage respectively. Both tops in the league, one of the early Conn Smythe Trophy favorites should Carolina win it all this year. To recap this series, Jacob Slavin was the overtime hero in Game 1, firing a shot from the deep right point that squeezed away past Logan Thompson for a 2-1 Carolina win. Washington answered with a 3-1 win in Game 2, scoring the first power play goal against the Hurricanes' penalty kill, which killed off their first 19 penalties of the playoffs. Thompson stopped 27 of 28. Game 3 was the Canes' first shutout in the playoffs since Game 2 3 years ago in their East semifinal series against the New York Rangers. Andersen stopped all 21 Washington shots. Jack Roslovic got a goal and assist on a night that saw 4 different Canes get on the board, including Andrei Svechnikov, Eric Robinson, and Jackson Blake. Andersen is just the second goaltender among active NHL goaltenders with 3 shutouts with different clubs, shutouts with 3 different clubs in the playoffs, the other one being Cam Talbot. Despite playing just 18 games in the regular season, he has been super reliable this postseason, and it's not just because of the defensemen in front of him. Spencer Carbery said the Capitals should be able to take the positives from Game 3 because of how they played in the first period and a half, when they controlled the play for the most part and forced the Canes to back off of their pressure-filled offense. But they need to finish where they get their looks. And they need more from Alex Ovechkin, who doesn't have a point in this series. The first time in this postseason he's been held without a point in 3 straight games. But he has also not gone 4 straight games without a goal this season. Dylan Strome's another player who should step up. While Washington has gotten 4 goals throughout this series, none have come from Ovi. Go over to what to watch here in this game, beginning with Carolina. There are reasons for the Hurricanes to feel confident heading into this game. They're energized coming off that shutout, but it's best not to get too high or too low. Momentum is captured and lost from shift to shift, period to period. There are positives in Game 3, but only after the Caps got the better scoring chances in the first period. Freddie Andersen made 2 big saves early, one on Tom Wilson's breakaway just 26 seconds in, and the other on Taylor Radish at the 2:25 mark. He had a 94-34 shot attempt advantage in Game 1, but the 2-1 overtime win was a reminder that the outcomes are often much tighter. More importantly, shot attempts and high danger chances are not how Rod Brind'Amour evaluates play. He evaluates how his team dictates the game based on team control. He believes that the Canes are doing a good job at it. Their scoring formula comes down to forward depth. There's 7 goals in this series that come from 7 different players. Plus, 13 different players have scored for the Canes in this postseason. They've controlled the territorial play through the 3 games, outshooting the Caps by an average of 11 shots on goal per game, 29.7 to 18.7, including 28 to 21 in Game 3, thanks to a 22 to 12 shot advantage after the first period. That shots on goal advantage in Game 1 was 34 to 13. They're also 3 of 8 on the man advantage in this series, scoring twice on the power play in the last game. They have scored 9 power play goals in the playoffs, tied with the Dallas Stars for the most in this postseason. For Washington, the old stalwarts, Alex Ovechkin and John Carlson have to deliver here in Game 4, and in a big way. OV is the NHL's leading scorer all time, 897 career goals, but he has yet to have a point in this series with 8 shots on goal. The power play has been very quiet. The Caps have scored once all series long, but it was the one that broke the Hurricanes' perfect penalty kill streak, where they killed off their first 19 penalties, and OV has been eerily quiet. He has just 1 shot on goal on the man advantage and 11:36 of ice time on the man up. Carlson has the only power play goal in Game 2, but he was being twice on plays that led to goals in Game 3. He was on the ice for all 4 that Washington allowed in that game. Ovechkin being held off the score sheet is more alarming than Carlson's struggles, though. It's one thing if he hasn't scored yet, because the Canes were blocking his shots or Freddie Andersen were in position to make their saves. But it's not that for him. It's another that he hasn't had that many consistent looks throughout the game, and that's credit to Rob Redemore's defensive structure. There was one shift, with just under 6 minutes in the first period Saturday, that nearly changed the narrative. He had a would-be grade A chance in the slot, but Jalen Chatfield got a stick on Ovi's stick as he was about to shoot, forwarding the best look that he would get. Seconds later, he put a shot from the left circle to the netting. It's just the second time all season that he went 3 straight games without a point, but he hasn't gone 4 straight without a goal. So there would be optimism that he can find one in Game 4. That may be what he needs to do in time for the Caps to tie this series up. And getting to our projected alliance, beginning with the Carolina Hurricanes. Top line consisting of Andrei Svechnikov, Sebastian Aho, and Seth Jarvis. Second line of Taylor Hall, Jack Roslovic, and Logan Stankoven. Third line of Jordan Martinook, Jordan Stahl, and William Carrier. The fourth line has Eric Robinson, Jesperi Kotkaniemi, and Jackson Blake. The defensive pairs beginning with Jacob Slavin and Brent Burns, then Dmitry Orlov with Jalen Chatfield. Shane Goss's pair with Shaw Walker to round it out. Andersen once again the starter. Pyotr Kochetkov is the backup. For Washington, their lineup is like this. Alex Ovechkin, Dylan Strome, Alexei Protas, who was bumped up to the top line after serving the previous games on the fourth line. Second line is Connor McMichael, Pierre-Luc Dubois, and Tom Wilson. Third line, Andrew Mangiapane, Lars Eller, and Ryan Leonard, who replaces Taylor Radish on the lineup. Brandon Duhaime, Nick Dowd, and Anthony Beauvillier rounded out on the fourth line. Beauvillier and Protas switch spots. Defense pairs begin with Jacob Chikrin with John Carlson, Rasmus Sandin with Matt Roy, Alex Alexeyev with Trevor Van Riemsdyk. Logan Thompson once again the starter. Charlie Lindgren is the backup. Healthy scratches for both teams, starting with Carolina. Alexander Nikishin, Tyson Joe, Spencer Martin, Ty Smith, Juha Jaska, Scott Morrow, and Riley Stillman. Mark Jankowski was injured in Game 1 of this series. He has not yet been cleared to play. He suffered an undisclosed injury. For Washington, the healthy scratches list consists of Taylor Radish, Ethan Bear, Dylan McGrath, Ethan Frank, and Mitchell Gibson. As there's no sign of anything else of the changes here of note, as Radish was subbed out for Leonard in this game. So the puck drop. Coming here as we have our siren sounders for this game. And Scotty McCreary, the first period siren sounder for the Canes. Carolina has 3 siren sounders throughout the game as everyone comes out here in front of the Storm Surge. Our referees for tonight's game are Garrett Rank and Johnny Bear. Linesmen are James Tobias and Johnny Murray. It's been a tight and low-scoring series so far, it's a note, between these two Metro Division rivals. And it's been very short between these two rivals in terms of the rivalry, but nonetheless, it's been eventful as Carolina upset Washington in the first round of the 2019 playoffs, knocking off the then defending champions in a 7-game series. Patrick Maroon loves his St. Louis Blues a lot. Oh, Pat Maroon sounding the siren for the NHL and TNT studio. Paul Bissonnette loves it. And Lee McHugh, well, it's onwards, and he is pumped up too. Anson Carter and Henrik Lundqvist both at the studio. Oh, and Biz wants to throw the haymakers. He's with Maroon. The last few days at Raleigh have seen rain, but the rain is not stopping these fans from entering Lenovo Center here. There is a hurricane warning in effect for Raleigh, North Carolina. It's time for them to raise up to the occasion, while the Caps wanting to make their statement in all caps. So the Capitals wanting to even this series up at 2 games apiece, just like they did in Game 2, and they evened it up at 1 game apiece. Ovechkin has been held without a point in this series. Just the second time all season in which he's been held without a point. Scotty McCreary sounded the siren. The next 2 siren sounders, William Byron and TJ Warren, as we're underway here. Let's get rocking and rolling. Up the far side as Ovechkin wants to get it out. The Canes keeping it inside. William Byron, driver for the number 22 of Hendrick Motorsports. Huge Caniac too. See, was hanging out with Seth Jarvis at the clash at Bowman Gray. The Canes made it there. Over to Winston-Salem. Up the far side, Beauvillier overskated it. And is chipped around by Carolina. Looking to clear as Carrier went onto his knees. And the first changes here for the Canes. Near side now is Strome. Entry feed up the middle. And controlling the backhand. Easy save there by Andersen. May look easier than it was as Svechnikov will move it back up to the far side. Svechnikov fires one off Thompson as it's held inside by Jacob Slavin. Back around the net. Over to the far half boards and Aho. Drop back for Burns. His shot may have deflected up. And Washington collects it behind the net. Svechnikov still pursuing. Slavin wanted to hold it. Stretch pass here. Partial break here for the Caps. Protas rang it off the pipe. And another chance. And Andersen covered that one up. Alexei Protas wanted to go for his second goal of this series. Rang it off the inside of the right post. Freddie Andersen's been outstanding. 132 GAA and 940 save percentage. Got his first shutout as a Cane last game as Logan Thompson's counterpart. 5-3 in the postseason. 226 GAA, 922 save percentage. Not too shabby numbers for Thompson. And he's showing on a big way right after he wanted out of the Vegas Golden Knights. Face off for the left circle. Got it back onto the left point. Here is Trevor Van Riemsdyk as he waits. Holds it. Made his way to Andersen. A tie-up right at the front. Prevented a rebound chance. Carrier got dispossessed. Andersen out to play this one behind the crease. And he'll leave behind. Outlet pass over to Carrier. And back for Martinook. Martinook backhands it deep. Trevor Van Riemsdyk gets this one through. Up the near side, a race for this puck. It was touched up by Washington. And Sean Walker will retreat. Walker sends it up for Taylor Hall. Former Hart Trophy winner. Hall sends one off the pad of Thompson. Roslovic keeps it inside. Roslovic tied up at the far half boards as it's chopped away at by the Caps. They'll send this one down the far side of the boards. Mangiapane whacked away at it. Andersen lifted behind. Ryan Leonard out there. Rookie out of Boston College. Jalen Chatfield waits with this puck. Let's go Canes chance here at North Carolina's capital. Off the far side the boards. It makes his way for Thompson as Orlov was right in front of the puck. Hall kept this one alive at the near corner. Back around Stankoven. Stankoven got it out to the right point. Got it in deep for Hall. Knocked it away. And Washington will scoop this one up. Can't get a clear puck onto this as Leonard gets decked at the play by Kotkaniemi. Washington moves it up the near side. Mangiapane wanted to set up for Eller, but there was a stick there. Hall will go for a change here as he dumps this onto the near corner. Carlson scoops it up. Watched by Kotkaniemi. Made it over to the near side as Washington sends this down the end boards. By the penalty box is Walker. Got a stick on it. Out the reach of Kotkaniemi, and the Caps are able to hold it. For the near side, across the ice. Carolina clears this one out. Washington has controlled the pace of play in the first period in the last 2 games. They want to continue that, but they want to have that translate to goals here in the first. Gostisbehere got a stick on the puck. And up the near side, here's Duhaime, or rather Beauvillier. Beauvillier stopped by Andersen. He's been solid here so far. And that might be even an understatement to even say the least. As Andersen has been lights out. Opportunities have been coming in sharp here for the Caps. And Connor McMichael and Alexei Protas, they both got breaks. It started with Protas ringing the inside the post. It stayed out. A fiery start for the Caps as the Ovechkin lies back out there. A goal, 3 assists for him as Pierre-Luc Dubois is going to take the face-off against Sebastian Aho. Dubois takes it, cycles around for the near side, came loose onto the far side. Free scoring chance for the Caps in this first period. It's a fast start for them. Burns controlling on his backhand for Slavin. Gets a return feed for Burns. Off the near side, Slavin enters on front, and he'll fire this off of Thompson. And this is not held in by Seth Jarvis as the Canes reset. Slavin wanted to get this one up. Protas cut off the passing lane. Protas sent this one around for the near boards. Andersen played this one out right behind for Burns. Aho, this one backed off his skate, and then backwards as Svechnikov carries in. Aho, right circle, cut off by Sandin, but sends up for Jarvis, fires it, and Thompson made the stop. 4:10 gone this first period. Carolina with an answer here as the Canes take this one away, but can't get much of that. This puck bounces onto the Caps zone. Race for this puck as Aho tried to beat out his man, but is shoved away by the Caps. Ovechkin closes in at the near side, sets up right over to the left point, and then this one deflected wide. Canes get this one outside, but not out. Carlson bouncing puck, and that one wide of Andersen as well. Around the boards for Tom Wilson. Wilson near side will loft this one back, intercepted, and the Canes will move this one up. Dmitry Orlov, 1-0 John Carlson. Orlov wanted to get it again off his own chip, but can't do so. Ex-teammates at Washington, and now rivals. Gostisbehere trying to box down Ovechkin. Ovechkin wants to set up at the far side. One-timer Strome, and this made his way by Andersen. Van Riemsdyk can't hold it, and this will come all the way down the end boards. Near side, TVR will get it back. Former Carolina Hurricane is on the bottom pairing next to Calvin DeHaan in the 2019 series. Right out in front, this gets blocked away. Gostisbehere gets it out. Pass was too far for his intended man. Chipped up. Out the near end boards. Stankoven gets it through to Hall. Taylor Hall moves it on the drop pass. Bounced up, and the Cats will take it away. Through the near side. Mangiapane can't get this one up. Walker blocks him. And through the middle, here is the Canes. Hall. Taylor Hall wants to coach up to the inside. It's Lars Ellers on him. Hall around the far side. One-timer. Blocked. And Washington will come back with this. Brandon Duhaime in the fourth line getting out there. Duhaime gets cut off the near side as Burns gets his stick onto the puck. Off the near side, Stankoven tied up by Dowd. Dowd allows Washington to take up possession. All the way back, moved up for the middle. Off the backhand, the Caps re-enter with this. Bounced up for Duhaime. Duhaime tied up, held inside the point, and Andersen made the stop, glove side. And Sandin, point blank, it's Kokiniemi, gets tied up, but manages to clear just enough of it as the Caps will reset. Up the far side now, Dowd has it bounced off his skate. Kokiniemi recollects it, can't get this one out though, and this comes to the swat. And McMichael gonna get his stick onto the puck. He gets it back though, got it back over to Carlson. Carlson's shot, bounced off Andersen. Dowd, tied up by Eric Robinson as the fourth line's doing the work here for the Canes. Nice shove there by Carolina. Defensively as they're holding off Washington, putting them in a headlock on this defensive zone shift. And this was deflected out of play, no penalty. Still scoreless here in the first period. We have not had any first period goals in this series yet. What has changed though? Find out. Alex Ovechkin was put on a headlock in Game 3 as Carolina was frustrating him all throughout that match. His best look was at the net front when he was denied on the entry feed up front. This post, he has 4 goals, none in the series, 76 career playoff goals, 897 in the regular season. Throughout his career, you see it's watching on the iPad as the outer break free of Andersen. Face-off is won by Washington. Quick backhander was turned away by Andersen. On Pierre-Luc Dubois, he wanted to catch him off guard. So William Byron, one of the free siren sounders alongside TJ Warren. And William Byron the second period, TJ Warren third period. As this was too clean of a faceoff win, this will exit all the way back up to the Washington zone. They've had 7 of the first 10 shots, and as it makes its way to Thompson, he'll cover. Now also have Seth Jarvis closing in tight. This Carolina team defends well, and their foundation is built on the back of their defense. That's the culture that Rod Brindamore has instilled ever since he was named the head coach at this team. Most successful head coach of the Hurricanes. He won a Stanley Cup 19 years ago as a team captain. He waited 17 years to win a Stanley Cup. He finally got his in his 17th year. Yes, Perry, Kotkaniemi, and Nick Dowd on the faceoff dot, but Kotkaniemi is tossed out. That'll get Jackson Blake to take it. Rookie out of the University of North Dakota. Dowd takes it. Kotkaniemi gets twisted and turned. Held inside by Carolina as Kotkaniemi's in pursuit, beat out to by Beauvillier. For the near corner, Washington scoops it up and they'll move it out their own zone. For the near side, this will be chipped around as Sean Walker beats out his man onto the puck. For the near corner, deflected up and it'll be collected behind the net. What I thought it was, but now Walker off the far boards, moving behind the defense is Robinson. He stops. Blake tried to help him out at the far corner. Blake gets tied up and brought down. Robinson trying to scoop it up out of the pile that Sandina's in. Here's Blake. Backhands one towards the slot. Kotkaniemi turned away and tied by Thompson. And it'll be cleared out to center where Gostisbehere picks it up. Washington changes lines. Fourth line stays out there for the Canes for the moment as Blake is yet to come up onto the ice. Here's Ovechkin who takes it inside. Ovechkin fires wide. Svechnikov picks it up from his own zone. Evades an attacking Cap. Svechnikov, deep shot fired wide. Chikrin scoops it up out the pile. Canes keep it inside. Right out front gets blocked. And now here come the Caps on the counter. Chikrin, offside. As Dylan Strome was on the entry, so is Ovechkin. And so far, Washington, they've been getting much better looks here in this first period. Connor McMichael and Alexei Protas, they came close. McMichael turned away by Andersen. And Protas hit the inside the post. And more importantly, you want to get those chances to go your way. So far, they are getting the chances, but either Andersen is stopping them or the Carolina defense is coming up huge for them. You got to lay your body onto the line. That time, Jesperi Kotkaniemi nearly did. Another face-off win that goes all the way back up to the Washington zone. They'll have to restart from there. Up the far side. Pickpocketed by Orlov. And up the middle, this gets deflected in. And to the right of Thompson, Roy will pick it up. Matt Roy. And that pass doesn't go there as the Canes, so it's fired back in. Thompson slowed it down. Chikrin tried to clear. Up front is Mangiapane, who gets tied up at the far half boards. Bounced up, and it will be collected by Dmitry Orlov for the icing. Ryan Leonard tried to beat him out to it. Orlov, the previous wearer of the number 9 jersey in Washington. Leonard is the current wearer of the number 9. Orlov occupying that second line defense pairing, either Nick Jensen or Matt Niskanen. The two who were a reliable defensive pairing together in the year in which Washington won the Stanley Cup, 2018. Ball starting to draw between the two number 20s, Sebastian Aho and Lars Eller. Eller wins this draw. It'll go back to Matt Roy. Canes trying to rush inside to keep it in. It takes a bounce. Aho is on the hole. Svechnikov goes back over to Jarvis and sets up Aho on the one-timer. Partially blocked away by Thompson. The pass in front was intercepted. And Mangiapane can't get it out. Bounced onto the left point. Here's Jacob Slavin looking for deflection. And that one bounced wide. Svechnikov put a check out to his man. Burns holds it inside. Around the end boards. Slavin rushes to this puck. Trying to free up space. Bounced up. Back up to the point. Here's Jarvis. Walks in. Jarvis. Rebound loose. As Thompson made the initial stop. Burns. Another try. Blocked in front. It's Washington. Wants to get it out. It's a delayed penalty here. This crowd amped up here as Carolina is going to the power play. The fans can feel the buzz. This top line is doing everything. He's up and down the lineup. Andrei Svechnikov, Sebastian Aho keeping the cycle plays alive. It's actually not a penalty. A really good shift though. Jalen Chatfield off the face-off win for Jordan Staal. Chatfield around for Martinook. Martinook looks, sharp angle, stole the rebound. Thompson covers up, and he'll leave this one to himself. So in terms of the shot attempts here, it's 96-33. Game 1 in favor of Carolina. Game 2 is 81-47 Carolina. Game 3, 77-55 Carolina. As such, Jordan Staal gets this rebound up front. And the veteran looking to get rebounds towards the goal crease. That time he did as Carolina wanted to keep this one inside off the draw. Tie up. Kotkaniemi bounces over towards the left side of the circle. And then out in front. And it's collected by Washington. Moved on out through center. Gostisbehere backhands this one away. Carolina is the only remaining team in the playoffs without a loss. Delayed offside against the Canes. This one bounced over towards the far side. Down around for Carlson. Carlson wants to get it out. Gostisbehere moved it back around. Sandin is over at the far corner. Bouncing up, and this will be Eric Robinson who'll take it back in. Robinson, Kotkaniemi. Kotkaniemi gets tied up. Gostisbehere. Shane Gostisbehere walks the point, pivoting around with some moves. Gostisbehere still looking. Throws one towards the net. Score! The first ever first period goal of this series belongs to Carolina. Shane Gostisbehere keeps it in the line just barely. Walking the point and toying with Brandon Duhaime. Breaking ankles here as he throws one towards the net. Jesperi Kotkaniemi set the screen in front to take away Thompson's vision. And the net front battle with Nick Dowd, and that allows Carolina to get on the board. Some daylight here as Carolina 1-0 here. Third goal at the playoffs. The first goal scored in the first period of this series is Kotkaniemi. Keeps it one inside. The Canes wanting to put the pressure onwards. It is Tom Wilson taking us back inside. William Carrier all the way back in the near corner. Jalen Chatfield up front. Over to the far half boards. Kotkaniemi bounces one down. Here's Ovechkin who'll hold on to this one. Van Riemsdyk back up front. And this one knocked away by Orlov. Settled down by Carolina. Thompson. Carolina 37-2 when scoring first. 4 for the AHL. Hall wanted to go across the ice. Kept back in by the Canes as they want to get something in front. Nothing there as Slavin holds his own. Brent Burns across. Burns throws one towards the net. That one up high as Hall gets this back over to Brent Burns. One-timer wristed wide. And this will be Stankoven getting tied up. Slavin sees his option getting tied up. It's Stankoven back for Slavin. One-timer. Rebound closed off by Trevor Van Riemsdyk. It's cleared out by the Canes. All the way back as this will be an icing. Carolina breaks even. And the Canes find their footing. And they're getting their game going here early in Game 4 of this series. It's number 4 getting the first goal of this game. 9-7 the shot advantage in favor of the Canes. The Svechnikov line is back out there. Remember, Svechnikov has 6 goals this postseason. 8 goals for the Canes by 8 different players in this series. Sebastian Aho to 7 different players actually, as Gostisbehere scored in game 2 as Van Riemsdyk wants to clear it out and does. Settled back down by the goal scorer Gostisbehere, Kotkaniemi and Robinson the assists. Gostisbehere carries it back inside. Aho from the point wants to fire around the end boards. Over the right circle, Aho sets up. Aho waits in the far corner. Looks to set up backwards. One-timer blocked in front. All the way back onto the zone. Sean Walker will move in front. Backed it off the near end boards. And this will be settled back down for Matt Roy. Moved it over. But there's a knock back out the puck. And the Caps will fire this one down. Through the far side. Cross-ice pass to Matt Roy. Offside are the Caps. And there's a push and shove from Svechnikov afterwards. Seth Jarvis wants to get in the middle of it. James Tobias has to separate 3 players in the midst of action. Johnny Murray jumps in too. Separate Alexei Protas from his man. Nothing more. No gloves dropped. And when we return, it'll be Carolina with a 1-0 lead. No deflection from Kotkaniemi. Gostisbehere. The first goal of this game, the first period goal of this series. Back in a moment. Washington 18-6-0 after losing this season, regular season and playoffs, which is the best in the NHL. As he is being interviewed by Jody Shelley. Seth Jarvis will be going off onto the box. So Washington is 1-4-7 in this series. As Washington gets a power play. 2 minutes for Connor McMichael as well. So Jarvis to the box. Washington to the power play. As Jacob Slavin wants to backhand it out. And he does so. Set down onto the... Time and space has not been there for Washington on the man advantage as Freddie Andersen will stop this one and he'll send it down. So as Washington will move this one up the far side. And this power play will get rolling here as they send this around the near side. Chikrin gets closed out by Burns and this one knocked out of play. As Alex Ovechkin is yet to score in this series. 3 of 13 the first round, 1-4-7 second round. Ian, how are you doing?
I just watched the NBA draft lottery. We will save this for the intermission, but we will be talking about this.
Yeah, on the intermission. So, who knew? Up the far side, Cap still on the man advantage. On the right side, John Carlson gets cut off. Back across, and he'll be set right in front. Bounced off Freddie Andersen. Orlov wants to get it out, and does, as it was a swing and a miss on the hold. Logan Thompson will play this one out for Dylan Strome. Strome, to the far side, wants to look. Strome, continuing to hold it as the top unit gets back out onto the ice. Orlov cuts off his man. And at the near corner, Carolina scoops up. It's Sebastian Aho. And here is Eric Robinson with this. Robinson tied up on the shot. And Mangiapane runs into Robinson. Aho wanting to hold it. Robinson backhands this one around. Aho. Aho getting this by Pierre-Luc Dubois. Dubois moves this one up. Dubois moves it up for the ice. And this takes a bounce off of Kane. And for the near side, this is a delayed offside. And it is an offside. Good job by the Canes penalty killing units. As he tries to get after this puck. And Spencer Carbery talked about how tight this defense plays on Carolina's end. They're one of the best defensive teams in the league for a reason. Best penalty killing unit in the league. Not just regular season, but the playoffs. As Washington wins this faceoff with Pierre-Luc Dubois. This will be collected at the near corner by Slavin as he boxes out Alexei Protas. Washington trying to hold it. Power play ends as Carolina takes it up. 3-on-2 as they enter in. Martinook drops out for Seth Jarvis, who fires it. And this one caught by the glove of Logan Thompson, and it goes out of play. So as we go on to the intermission, Ian, I know you brought this up once you entered in here. I may have to start admitting, Nico Harrison may be right about everything.
This isn't even a Luigi wins by doing nothing thing. This is one of those Luigi wins while screwing up at every turn, hitting every banana peel, getting hit by all the shells, and still somehow making it through because he picks up a blue shell at the very end. Like, this is... Wow. And the fact that not just one, but two teams with the best odds got shut out of the top four.
He cooked a meal, failed at it at first, but still, it seemed that the meal failed at. He was shunned by the chest, but still, in cooking the meal, there looked to be something out of the light.
I guess so, but I mean, what? I mean, of all the teams to get it, though, of all the teams to make it into the top four, Dallas and no, Philly had a bad year. I understand that, but Dallas, wow.
Yeah, that is shocking. Back here in Raleigh, where it's 1-0, and Shane Gostisbehere has the first ever first period goal of this series. It took this long, but in Game 4 we saw that. Taylor Hall moves it back inside. There's a broken stick on the ice. Rasmus Sandin wanted to get this one out, but is held at the right point by Walker. Walker wanted to chip this one around, finds nothing. And the Caps ice it again. 5:06 to go in the first period. So, to say the least, this is still shocking. I can't even fathom it.
And when you look at it, Cooper Flag, because they're drafting Cooper Flag, they're not going to screw this up again.
There's no way.
Cooper Flag now is joining AD, Kyrie Irving, and Klay Thompson when all are healthy.
Here it is for the near side. It's Jesperi Kotkaniemi. Soft shot went off the pad of Logan Thompson as Robinson wanted to hold his own. Trevor Van Riemsdyk. He and Dmitry Orlov were on opposite sides in the 2019 series. Orlov on the second pairing with Matt Niskanen in 2019. Van Riemsdyk on the bottom pairing with Calvin DeHaan, who is now a depth defenseman with the New York Rangers. Flipped across from Dowd to Alex Alexeyev. Alexeyev bounced up in front. Anthony Beauvillier recollects. Beauvillier up the far side. Over to Trevor Van Riemsdyk. All the way back. And moved up and around. Van Riemsdyk off the boards. Van Riemsdyk bounced off of Chatfield and kept inside by Alexeyev. Kotkaniemi hounds his man down. Chatfield picks it up for the far half boards. Knocked off the stick, and Washington will have to reset. Less than 4 minutes to go here. Opening period, Carolina has the only goal. They have 8 goals in this series from 7 different players. Gostisbehere is the first one of any player in the series to score multiple goals. Picked up by Jordan Martinook as he closes onto the goal. Martinook instead is boxed out through the far side. Carlson bounced up onto the right side, and one of the Caps went down. Oh, there's going to be a penalty against Carolina. That's Jacob Chychrun who gets sticked up. There might be blood here, so it might be 4 minutes. That zone time allows Washington to get dangerous looks as they were driving towards the crease left and right. And it seems that Martinook sticked up Jacob Chychrun up high. He's just going to get 2 minutes out of this one. I thought it was going to be 4. As Chychrun is getting repairs over at the bench. So this is going to be a critical power play. We're going to review it to see if it's 4 or 2. I think they're going to leave it as 2. Didn't seem like a lot of blood. But Chychrun is one of the key players on the Washington power play. The Capitals utilize 2 defensemen on the top power play. That is him and John Carlson. It's Ovechkin, Strome, and Wilson here for the Caps as this is won by Washington. Chychrun got this back around onto the deep point, but Carolina's penalty kill has been super aggressive. It's actually 4 minutes. I thought it was 2. They said 4. Carlson moved over across. Ovechkin waits a bit and goes back for Chychrun, who is functioning as a forward/defenseman on this man advantage group. Up the middle, Chychrun drops back for Strome. Strome around the far boards, recollected by Slavin as it's bounced up and around. Burns, big hit at the far half boards on Seth Jarvis. Washington re-enters with Tom Wilson. Bumped around it, deflects out into the zone. Good job by Carolina to force the offside. And Alex Ovechkin getting the towel. You know how Washington loves to double shift Ovechkin on the power play. That's what they want to do with him. That's to maximize his usage. He delivered a big hit on Seth Jarvis on the far half boards. And over the defensive zone as Jalen Chatfield sends it down. Here it is Logan Thompson. Rasmus Sandin moves it up. Sandin will drop back. Up through the middle. Pierre-Luc Dubois enters up with his puck. Intercepted as the Canes will move up. On the other way is Sebastian Aho will instead call off time. Poked away. The Canes chasing this puck left and right. They fire this one down. Up the far corner as Washington delivers this one back. Waiting with this is Connor McMichael. He, Dubois, Mangiapane, and Sandin on the second unit with Ovechkin. Dubois. Up the middle, he leads the way. For the far side. Chipped around, one of the Canes' sticks were in the way. Sent down the ice as Thompson will leave this one for the far side. Top unit back out there on the man of edge. 2 minutes left in the period. Carlson wants to lead the way onto the left side. Let's go Canes chance here. And Raleigh, glove down by Slavin as it's fired back. Carlson up the right side. Carlson wants to bank it to himself. Tom Wilson fighting for it, trying to dig it out the near corner. And once again, this Carolina penalty kill has been all over the place. They've been everywhere on the ice. And it's no secret that how good they are. They have allowed just one power play goal all playoffs. Game 2 of this series. Freddie Andersen wants to play himself, but it bounced off a capital, but right onto ex-capital, Dmitry Orlov. This will be collected by Washington with 75 seconds. Tom Wilson for the right point. Dylan Strome is closed off. Gave it away. And here comes a 2-on-1 shorthanded here. Aho finds Robinson. Robinson turned away by Thompson. This Carolina penalty kill is aggressive here. They have to kill off one more minute of this period and an additional 20 seconds in the second. Here's Dubois. Beat out by Chatfield as it's sent down the distance. Towels waving here at Raleigh. And through the far corner, Dylan Strome exits out. Washington will end this first period with their second unit. McMichael dancing around as Ovechkin fires around for the far boards. At the right points, recollected by the Caps, who have yet to have a shot on goal on this power play. Trying to dig it back out to Sandin, who just barely holds the line. Ovechkin! And that one blasted wide, trying to do the thing. And continuing with these towels waving here in this ferocious atmosphere. This is overwhelming. Brent Burns forced wide by Ovechkin. Here's McMichael, drops it off. And this one fired off of Andersen. And right over the crossbar. Cleared down the ice. And that will run out the first period. This penalty kill is the definition of a brick wall. And what you're seeing here in the final 4 minutes of play shows exactly that. And that's why Carolina exits of a 1-0 lead after 20 minutes of action, with Shane Gostisbehere scoring the only goal. Wow.
The storm surge is going strong.
Yes, it is.
You know, Alec, you remember when all those impractical Joker memes were happening after the Luka trade? All right, now trade Luka for Anthony Davis. We all thought the joke ended there. We were wrong. Apparently, the joke was on all of us. It went from, okay, trade Luka to LA for Anthony Davis. And now wait 6 months. And now wait 6 months and get the number 1 overall pick. And then it's the photo of them laughing at everyone else crashing out.
Oh my goodness. You know, this is so hilarious, and perhaps in a way, even though we couldn't see it at that time, I thought that flag was going to be a spur, but man, was I wrong there.
Yeah.
But in a way, Nico Harrison was right, but not in the way he thinks about defense wins championships. Because after the Luka trade, injuries rattled the Mavs season and the defense got worse. And Anthony Davis wasn't his effective self. He had one great game and then he gets injured in the first game and becomes a shell of what he was earlier in this series, in this season. But still, I had this conversation with someone. Luka Doncic makes up for his defensive deficiencies with his highlight reel offensive playmaking. The Luka show is lights out. He'll dazzle you with 3-pointers. He'll dazzle you with his playmaking, and he'll set up his teammates for a grade A chance. This trade is for the long-term future of the Lakers. But then the Lucas show would get ugly by the second half. When you watch the highlight tape of games, he tires out at the second half of games. He gets exhausted. So now I'm a little more understanding of the trade, but still, I only said a little more because if you were to make that trade, you need to have multiple first-round picks in return. That was wrong of Dallas to do that. I'm sorry, but still, if that trade doesn't include at least 3 first-round picks, I'm sorry. You're not benefiting off this trade.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, there was, what was it? I mean, and the fact that I'm not mad about this. The Spurs get the 14th and the second overall pick, or get the 14th and number 2 pick. And Giannis just requested a trade.
Did he?
Yes. And one of the popular landing spots is, in fact, San Antonio.
And once we expand on Giannis, he said that he is exploring best fits outside of Milwaukee, and his primary preference are in states that don't have the income tax. So ideally, the landing spots would be 1, San Antonio, 2, Houston, 3, Dallas, 4, Orlando, and 5, Miami.
Yep. Now, I frequent the show First Things First. I feel it is the best sports talk show that's on right now. They came up with some hypothetical trades. The Rockets won. Dear Lord, it would be costly. Especially because the Rockets don't really have anything this year. They don't have a high enough pick this year to leverage to damage anything or to minimize the damage. So, in the trade they cooked up, and in every trade I've looked at, Şengün goes to Milwaukee. And I know Rockets fans are not going to be accepting of that.
I am not either.
Yeah, there's no way. There's no way for Houston to trade for him unless they give up Şengün. Either that, it's either him that goes, him and another cast of characters, or it's Jabari Smith. And I know no one wants to see him go.
Yeah, Jabari, he was one of our key shooters down the line. Yeah, 3-point shooting is a strength that he provides to the team.
Yeah, so Houston, outside of, because the thing Houston would need is a hook. Is a hook, and Şengün and Jabari are two. You have 2 of them, but I know but these are young pieces, but these are young pieces of the core, and Giannis, and even though Giannis is Giannis, he's late 20s, early 30s, somewhere around there.
Somewhere around there.
Yeah. So yeah, it's not. Asset management wise, it's too much because other names that were added on were Reed something and Jake Longdale or Landale.
Jock Landale.
Jock Landale. Thank you. And I think it was, is it Reed?
Yeah, Reed Shepherd.
Reed Shepherd. And then and then both Phoenix picks on top of it.
Just to add more salt onto the wound of the Suns.
Yeah. So yeah, that would be too pricey.
Yeah.
Yeah, San Antonio, if they don't like anything that's coming out, if they don't think anything out of the draft is really going to be a game changer, they could, not both picks, but they could package this second overall pick, and I feel like they'd have to give a player. They'd have to, they'd have to add some pieces from their roster or delve into that pool of first-round picks they got just over the years.
Yep. Yeah, Houston has a lot of first-round picks that they could use if they want to leverage a trade. Remember that OKC also has first-round picks to leverage trades around. And Houston's also in that same situation. But the difference between Houston and OKC is that Houston needs to commit to the roster.
Yeah.
See, that's how I see things going for the Rockets. But I can't believe the Mavs won the draft lottery. 1.8% odds. This was the definition of lucking your way into the first overall pick.
I mean, and the fact that oh my God, the Washington with the name may change, but the place and the organization stays the same. Charlotte, you get nothing nice. Whether you were the Bobcats or you're the Hornets, you get nothing. You lose.
Good day, sir.
And then there's the Jazz and the Washington Wizards.
Oh, Washington. Just a sad franchise, and they get pick number 6, which is somehow even worse than Detroit getting number 5 2 years in a row.
Well, there's that. But then you look at the final teams in the top 4.
Oh,
The Sixers.
They got jumped by the 76ers.
The 76ers had the number 3 overall pick. How?
I mean, they had a year in which they went from being the laughing stock of the league to being the Walking Dead.
And now they may be Frankenstein because they just got a jolt of electricity just shot through them.
Yeah. To add to the core that already has Tyrese Maxey and Jared McCain. Philadelphia absolutely needs this because Joel Embiid's career is in doubt. Not in the way that you think, because he's still going to be playing. But how effective he's going to be is in doubt.
Right. So, Daryl Morey, your move.
Don't screw this up. Oh, that's how I advise Daryl Morey, the ex-GM of the Rockets. Well, I know for how bad the Sixers have been, at least there's some there's a light at the end of the tunnel. But at the end of the day, what a shocker. And I actually mean this sincerely. It's an actual shock.
I
Yeah.
yeah.
And we point this out earlier, but in the DMs that we talked to each other about, it's over, Rockies. Bud Black is gone.
That man, you know, I understand he was not a good manager at the end. But I do need to ask, just how much are you going to put on him for the disaster that was the Rockies?
I'll say, I think it's about everyone that's contributed to this disaster, not just Bud Black.
Right, because how are you as an employee supposed to make the business successful if your boss doesn't care?
Yeah, and Bud Black, even for as bad as he was, he's just a symptom of the issue. The biggest problem still is Dick Monfort.
Oh, by the way, I want to pay tribute real quick to someone outside of sports, but it's someone, actually, I think that everyone on the internet knew if they grew up in our generation. It would have been Etika's 35th birthday. For those who don't know, Etika was a very popular reaction YouTuber and streamer, one of the best. He unfortunately committed suicide a few years ago, and we miss him. We really do. Alec, were you familiar with his work?
I haven't watched his videos, but I heard about his suicide, and it's saddening to hear about this, because if you're dealing with mental struggles, please call for help. Don't wait. Always call for help. Seek professional help. Reach out to a friend. Reach out to a loved one. Reach out to someone who cares about you. Etika, we miss you.
Yeah. Yeah, his, for those who don't know, his real name was Desmond. And with that being said, rest in power.
Rest in power. I know it's no easy transition or this topic back onto another one, but as we speak out, I need to bring this up. Yes, I know the Florida Panthers beat the Toronto Maple Leafs in Game 4, but they're becoming a team that I'm increasingly disliking. It's not just with the dirty play, but how is it that Matthew Tkachuk doesn't even get fined for the throat gesture, yet Nazem Kadri gets fined for doing the exact same thing? What's the there's the hypocrisy there?
I don't know, man. They're just the Florida Panthers are a team that I'm starting to. I really want them to lose now. Like, I didn't really have too much of a preference, although it would have been cool. At first, I thought it would be cool if Toronto made the conference finals. Now they have to make it. Just I want Florida out.
Yeah.
It's the same way I feel about the Warriors. Can't stand them.
Yep. We just can't. At first, it was like, oh, cool, all right. They're this underdog Cinderella story that was an 8th seed, and we were all in uproarious laughter when they upset the Bruins in their historic regular season. But now, hearing all these accusations from Bruins fans about how dirty the Panthers are, well, the Bruins claims of how dirty the Panthers are validated. We had to listen to them at first sight because remember when Sam Bennett pushed aside Jeremy Swayman for the go-ahead goal in Game 4 of last year's second-round series, and there was nothing out of that one? How was that goal allowed to stand? That's goaltender interference. The Panthers do it in a sneaky way, where they get away with it. And I'm starting to understand. I'm starting to understand why other hockey fans hate the Panthers. It all makes sense now, Ian.
Yeah. Anyways, we're back. We're coming back for the second period.
Yep, and hoping that all bias aside, if Carolina wins this one, and I want to be as neutral as possible, if Carolina holds on to win tonight, it would be an early birthday gift, to say the least. We're on the way here for the second period. Carolina wearing the home black jerseys as it's sent in down deep. Logan Thompson plays this one out. The Canes do dump it in because they're still having to kill off the rest of their penalty. 10 seconds left in it. As Burns gets tied up, Slavin can't get it out, but Stahl overskated for a moment and finally gets it out as it's bounced up as Washington will re-enter, and we are back to 5-on-5. Right behind the net, and grabbing it is Wilson. Wilson tried to bounce it onto Chikrin. Moved up for a 2-on-1 here. Martinook and Jarvis. Martinook out front. Jarvis. The pass couldn't be completed as Martinook got tied up right behind the net. And here is Ovechkin finding Strome, who gets tied up. Dylan Strome will retreat. Right at the near half boards of the Washington zone. They'll move it up again. For the near side as Strome centers up. Cycle play. McMichael gets brought down. And the Canes will play this one up. Jarvis will move this one up for Aho. Sebastian Aho. That bounce up. Jarvis scores! He stuffs it in! Seth Jarvis on a loose rebound to Logan Thompson's left. It's 2-0. Just 65 seconds into the middle frame.
And with that, Carolina's up 2-0. And gentlemen, it's looking good.
Aho with the initial shot. Jarvis cleans it up from a sharp angle at the side of Thompson as it's bounced up off of the blocker, off the crossbar, but that bounce off the crossbar was a blessing in disguise. 2-0, and Carolina's a perfect 29-0 this season when taking a multi-goal lead. They have yet to lose in this scenario. Jackson Blake will move up the middle. Blake tied up from behind by Alexei Protas. Protas escaping Blake, the rookie out of the University of North Dakota. Protas gets cut off. Here is Dubois up the far corner. It's a 15-8 shot advantage for the case of Alexeyev. Turned away in the rebound. Got swept wide. Freddie Andersen hasn't had to do too much, but he's been outstanding when counted on. He leads the league in GAA and save percentage this postseason and looks like Carolina's early Conn Smythe Trophy nominee. Right behind the net, McMichael pins his man. Chatfield trying to pry it free. Svechnikov getting to it there. Eller joins in on the tie-up. Gets a shove from Svechnikov. It came loose off the broken stick. And that one all the way back onto the Washington zone as it rolls behind Thompson. The goal scored by number 24 right after the siren was sounded by NASCAR's number 24. William Byron was the siren sounder of the second period. A huge Caniac, native of Charlotte, North Carolina, driver of Hendrick Motorsports number 24 for Team Chevy. Up the near side, this gets set onto right behind Thompson's crease. He'll place it onto the far side. Scooped up by the Canes as Stankoven gets it up. Rozovic gets tied up right behind. Rozovic keeps it in. Stankoven is pursuing. Over the near half boards, held inside by Walker. Walker bounces one towards Logan Thompson as he'll cover up. The 16th shot on goal for the Canes. Another look at the puck. And the Canes were able to get the puck going, cycling this one up as Aho bounces the first one off of Thompson. And the second one went inside, right by the left skate of Thompson. Carolina has been dominating 5-on-5 play. And Willie B has to be proud of that one because Byron and Jarvis linked up with one another at Bowman Gray Stadium just before the clash at Bowman Gray, NASCAR's preseason race. Off the faceoff, Blake blocked off a cap and should go all the way back as Walker plays this one right onto the Canes bench. 17:04 left in the second period as Jarvis, who I thought scored the overtime winner in game one before it was credited to Jacob Slavin, gets the goal assisted by Aho and Dmitry Orlov. Gostisbehere from Jesperi Kotkaniemi and Eric Robinson. 15-12 the hits in favor of the Caps as Robinson will take the face-off as Kotkaniemi was tossed out. Dowd wins it up for the near side. Chikrin plays it off the far end boards, and this will be Gostisbehere beating out his man onto the puck. To apply a NASCAR term, it's a photo finish. We had a photo finish earlier this season in NASCAR of Austin Cindric beating out Ryan Preece, but Preece got disqualified later as he had some illegal modifications. Face-off won by Washington at the far side, but Carolina quickly takes it back. Quick shot, blocked in front by Dowd, who recollected at the far corner. And another chase of this puck. Another icing as it made its way past the goal line. Carolina's been on a roll here. And in game one, they dominated the shot boards 34-13. And they controlled the shot attempt pace 94-34. Here as Washington could not get anything right on Carolina. Off the face-off, the Caps want to move it up. Blake was in the way. Jackson Blake, one of two rookies on the Canes, the other being Logan Stankoven as Washington takes it back up. 3-on-2, back the other way. Dowd setting up at the right point. Dowd is tied up, forced backwards, and it goes to the far corner, where it's scooped up by Walker, shoved by Brandon Duhaime. Backhanded by Jesperi Kotkaniemi, sent out by Robinson on the chase down. Here's Blake who slows up. Blake, Cohen drag move, Blake! That one forced wide. Gostisbehere wants to hold his own. Blake gets shoved towards the end boards, trying to keep the puck alive, but can't. Alexiev floats this one out for center. It's bluffed down by the Canes. Here's Kotkaniemi who sends this one up. Kotkaniemi, entry feed. Martinook had it too far for him. Martinook up front. Carrier can't deflect it inside. Moved up through center. And this is Tom Wilson who drops it for Ovechkin. Cross-ice pass, Dylan Strome. Big save, Freddie. Freddie Andersen showing why he is Freddie Fazbear in the playoffs, jump scaring the Capitals. Collected by Jacob Slavin as the Freddie chants are commencing here in Carolina. Burns fires around for the near side. Kept inside by the Canes. Up the near half boards, the Caps get this one out through center. Collected by the Caps. And cycled around by Sandin, slowed down by Freddie. Martinook sends this one down the end boards. And this will be kept inside by Sandin. Let's go, Canes chance here at Raleigh. Svechnikov wanted to get this one by, but he gets tied up. Trevor Van Riemsdyk almost had taken away by Seth Jarvis up for the middle. Washington sends it towards the near corner. Chatfield holds out McMichael. And up the near side, Svechnikov gets boxed out by Protas. Protas bounced wide of McMichael. Up the far side, this floats over to Van Riemsdyk. Trevor Van Riemsdyk sends this one back inside. Washington jumped a little too early and is offside against Andrew Mangiapane. Opportunities here with Tom Wilson doing a good job staying with the puck to find Alex Ovechkin despite Jacob Slavin's best efforts to cut him aside. Ovechkin immediately finds Dylan Strome towards the right circle. Andersen made the timely save Andersen trying to repeat what Sergei Bobrovsky did last year, win a Stanley Cup as their ever so reliable netminder at 35 years old. Face off to the right of Thompson this time with Roslovic taking it for the Canes. Won by the Caps. TVR gets this one out, and this one whistled down on the play by Mangiapane. So 2-0 Canes. The goals from Gostisbehere and Jarvis, 14:34 left in this middle frame. Of course, you have this big storyline that Carolina is getting depth scoring from everywhere. Later tonight is the Golden Knights and the Oilers. Game 4 of that series, as Vegas looking to even it up at 2 games apiece. Oilers looking to make it 3 games to 1 the series lead. The Oilers have came back to win every one of their games. 4 of them from down 1 goal. The other 2 from down 2 goals. Lars Eller and Jack Roslovic again. The puck went into the Hurricanes bench as Eller wins the draw. Cycling around his TVR with Stankoven watching. Up the far boards, Orlov. Orlov backhands it inside, but TVR cuts it off. The Caps flutter it back to center. Roslovic recollects. Rink wide for Chatfield. Entry feed for Stankoven. Chasing it down is Taylor Hall, who beats out Trevor Van Riemsdyk. Hall backhands one towards the left point. Orlov for Chatfield. Chatfield floats one wide to net. Orlov just holds his own. Orlov had it bounce off a Cap, and moving back with this is Eller. Eller goes rink wide on the left point, holding on to his Ovechkin, blockered away by Freddie. Andrew Mangiapane wanting to hold. Orlov holds him off. Roslovic gets this one out. Stankoven moves it up the near side. Stankoven waits for the trailer, 3-on-2. Chatfield! Big save by Thompson. He'll cover up. 6:16 gone in this third period as Chatfield took a beating on the way to the net. He is slow to get up, but nonetheless, he should be all right getting back up. Hurricanes lead 2-0. We'll be right back in a moment.
So, good start for the Canes.
Mm-hmm. Yes, so far so good. In Carolina, of course, we were wondering first 2 rounds are all right, but should they advance to the conference finals, we need to see this matching energy for Carolina. Because to this day, it's 12 straight conference finals losses for the Canes. And they need to end that anytime soon. But doing so means that they're going to face off against either one of Toronto or Florida, which would be Carolina's toughest test in the playoffs.
Yeah, oh, man. Hurricanes make it to the conference final. Make it to the Stanley Cup final. Win 4 games in the conference finals, please.
It would
be great.
Yeah. That's what I ask of them. Win 4 games in the conference finals, and everything will be good from there. This faceoff will come to the right of Logan Thompson as Gostisbehere at the first goal of this game. Jarvis the latest. So far, Carolina's dictate the pace of this series as they're dominating the Caps outright in many statistics. They're not going down easily, and this series is showing why. One of the best defensive teams in the NHL is about the right fit. Logan Stankoven is fitting nicely with Taylor Hall on the second line. Hall, a former Hart Trophy winner in 2018 with the New Jersey Devils. He just signed a 3-year extension with the Canes at a lesser cap hit than what he is making now. So that will take him until he's 38. Freddie Andersen signed a 1-year extension at a $2.75 million cap hit. Caps win the draw. Carlson gets this back onto the far corner. Stankoven ties him up. Gets towards the puck. Can't hold his own as he goes down. He's a little engine that could. 5'8", but he is a relentless working machine. Up the near side, Beauvillier gets this one down where it's Gostisbehere collecting. Shane Gostisbehere moves up. Gostisbehere towards the right side for Walker. Walker down the near side. Moved it up the far end of the boards. Near corner, or rather far corner, Carlson ties up his man. Scooped it up, and this will be sent up down by Chychrun, and this will not be icing. Just short of it, even though it seemed like it made it across. Back inside is Carolina as Jordan Staal will send this down deep. Jordan Martinook gets tied up. Staal back behind the net, pushed by Chychrun. Staal, Carrier. William Carrier, Stanley Cup champion with the Vegas Golden Knights and an original misfit. Pass too far for Staal, but it's held inside by Walker. Walker tumbles down right in front. Stopped by Thompson off of Martinook. And up the far boards, this is fired back inside by Carrier from a long distance, as Thompson made that stop too. Up the middle, tie up right on Ovechkin. He's been put in a headlock here at Raleigh. We're the far side. Burns' chip in was deflected inside. Chychrun picks it up. 18-10, Carolina, the shots on goal advantage. The Canes have been playing like the hungrier team. Fired around onto Andersen. Will play this one out. This goes by Jarvis. Too far for him. Chychrun will be the first one to pick it up. He'll fire it around for the near end boards. Chatfield for Aho. Aho spun it down for Svechnikov. Andrei Svechnikov looks around for the near high boards. Svechnikov's shot is blocked off a stick, and that stick was broken. This will be sent down the ice for an icing, which may be the best use for the Caps because to account for that broken stick, that stick was broken. It's Ovechkin. He puts Carrier along the boards towards the Carolina bench, but that was dangerous because the skater Carrier went dangerously close towards Ovechkin's body. And then a big hit from Ovechkin on Jalen Chatfield as he's trying to make his presence felt physically. Frustration does boil over. Of course, he wants to get onto the goal sheet. He does not have a goal, let alone a point in this series. Trevor Van Riemsdyk puts Andrei Svechnikov in a headlock. Oh, one-timers turned away by Thompson. An explosive one-timer from point blank as he got open. Chychrun fires this one deep on the rink-wide pass. Washington tried to get set up at the right point, but can't. Svechnikov gets this one back over to Chatfield. Jalen Chatfield breaks it out for Dmitry Orlov. Orlov tried to send it back. The Caps go the other way on the counter. Here's McMichael. The pass gets tied up, and this will X out for center. John Carlson will reset. 6 free second period shots on goal. Favor the Canes as Orlov got twisted around. Andersen plays it out to the far side. Finds his man and plays this one out through center. Carlson being pursued. Banked it off the Carolina bench. And Carolina will send this one deep. On this foot race, it will be iced. Thompson called for it. 10:46 left after the second period. So, I'll not be covering a game tomorrow. So I have some plans for the birthday.
That's all right. Let's see. Tomorrow is Toronto, Florida, and Dallas and Winnipeg.
And I thought tomorrow was just one game.
Oh, is it? Is it just one game?
Oh,
okay,
yeah,
maybe.
yeah, it's Jet Stars, just one game tomorrow.
All right. I was wrong. So, just one game tomorrow.
And it's game 4 of Dallas-Winnipeg as Washington. They couldn't bank in off 2 rebound chances. Tom Wilson cycles around. Wilson backhands one for Matt Roy, holds onto it right front. And Andersen stopped it. This puck on a sweeping keep by Tom Wilson to hold it. Wilson in front, Strome! There was someone in the way there. Wilson keeps it one alive. Here's Roy, a big drive! And couldn't get that one through. Sandin keeps it at the near corner. Rink wide pass. All the way back, another one-timer. Blocked up front. Rebound, Canes sweeping up front. And there was nothing there. And the Canes get it out onto the neutral zone. Halfway mark of the second period. The Caps get this back inside. Wilson shoved down by Robinson, but is held by the Caps for a brief moment before it's cleared out by the Canes. And it will not be icing. All the way back is Trevor Van Riemsdyk will play it. Up the far side for Protas, and this will be Chychrun who fired around for the near side boards. Carolina plays it through center. Trevor Van Riemsdyk playing this one back to Chychrun. Offside are the Canes as Carolina was pursuing it. 9:29 to go here in the second period. And TNT did show, while promoting their NASCAR promos, William Byron sounding the siren for the second period. One of the premier drivers of NASCAR, driving the number 24 for Hendrick Motorsports. The other siren sounder will be TJ Warren. Never forget his legendary run at the bubble. This is the break. You know what's I don't know what's crazier. The Mavericks lucking their way into the number one pick, or both Dallas's NBA and WNBA teams getting their number one pick on the same year. It's crazy to think that's how they would end up with both Cooper Flagg and Paige Beckers.
I don't know, man.
It just goes to show you once again why this may seem unrelated to some viewers, but if you really think about it, a team that can make the play-in is still capable of getting the number one overall pick. You know, that really defeats the whole purpose of the draft. Because why are you allowing a team that was able to make it to the playoff or the play-in, why are they allowed to get better? You know, at least when, you know, people will point to the Lakers getting Magic Johnson. First of all, that was on a coin flip. Very infamous coin flip. And we're back. So we'll continue this later.
So at least they were able to. That was a coin flip. As you mentioned, infamous coin flip. But in the case of the Islanders, they weren't even in the playoffs to begin with. So we can stand that. Besides, the NHL draft doesn't allow teams that make the playoffs to be in the first 16 selections. Up the near side, this one banked out. And the Caps will backhand this one around. Wide of Carlson, but it's grabbed by Ryan Leonard. Moving down with this puck, the Canes were in the way. 7th straight playoff appearance for the Canes, the longest streak in franchise history. This one banked off the end boards, and the Canes will get to this puck with Taylor Hall ahead. Hall will skate around to the far side, moving this one up. Hall will send this towards the near corner. Carlson in the way. Moved out by Leonard, and here's Eller. Lars Eller will leave behind for Andrew Mangiapane. Nothing there as the Canes will look to break out, but the pass was too far, and it's an icing. 8:46 left in the second period. So you have a kid with a mustache right behind Rod Brindamore. 44 and 38 in his career in the playoffs. Guess that mustache may be someone who's a fan of Seth Jarvis. Has a deck that was growing out his mustache. Rosovic tied up on the draw, but he still manages to win it. Burns will fire this one down. It's collected up by Matt Roy. Canes beginning the process of changing their lines. And up through the middle, Burns ties up Dubois. Dubois staying with this as he goes back towards the point for Chychrun. Chychrun can't find his man. Throws his gloves down to clear from Stankoven. Dubois flips this back inside. Stankoven was in the way, or rather Svetikov, as this gets floated back inside. Sent down towards the near corner. Slavin. Slavin's all tied up. And this will bounce up onto the boards. Aho for Burns. Brent Burns moves up for Sebastian Aho. One of the Caps was decked here. Moved back behind are Kerwin Drax. Svetikov wanted to go for the fancy move. It was a defender away. Brodus goes across. And waits. McMichael. He'll fire this one in. In the way here is Chatfield for Orlov. Second pairing out there for the Canes. Chatfield moves it up the near side. Sebastian Aho enters up with this as he fires it in. Collected at the far corner by John Carlson. Moved up for the near side boards for Tom Wilson. Leaving behind for Dylan Strome. Going across the ice, that's too far for Ovechkin, who fires it right off of Andersen's glove. Carlson keeps this one onto the near corner. Strome back for Sandin. Now back for Ovechkin. Batted down twice by the Canes, and it'll be moved up the near side by Jordan Staal with Wilson in the way. Ovechkin will start up. Rink-wide pass. McMichael tied up through the far half boards, and the Canes will move back up. Down the far side of the ice. Collected at the near corner. Chopped around to Staal. Jordan Staal gets tied up. Sandin behind the net. Collected up by Sean Walker with a deep shot. Bounced up in front as Thompson stood his ground despite the tough looks. Caps trying to exit with this puck. Collected by Sean Walker. Enters it back inside for Eric Robinson. And around for Staal. Jordan Staal back to the left point. Gossesbear walks it. Gossesbear wide of the goal. Collected up at the near half boards. Jackson Blake there. And one of the Caps went down. Same 5-on-5, and the stick came free. Brandon Duhaime goes back with this. Duhaime fires it. Kicks. Hey, Freddie. Right behind the crease. Duhaime gets tangled up. Taken away by Walker. Up the far boards. Robinson tried to play this one out. It's to Washington's bench. Shots are 20-15. Carolina. As Brandon Duhaime wanted to move up with this, Freddie Andersen made a timely save. And goaltenders have to be aware of where each shot is going to come from. Sean Walker wanted a seeing eye shot from the right point, establishing a net front with Jordan Staal trying to deflect it. That's the bread and butter. Playoff type goals. Those deep shots. 2-0 Carolina. With 6:16 to go in the second. Washington under breakouts. Play up nicely. But here, Carolina has a way to counter that. Face-off is won by the Caps. Walking the red line. Moving up into the far half boards where the Canes will move this one down the ice. Bouncing puck collected by Alexiev. Alex Alexiev up the near side boards. Burns ties up Duhaime. Burns takes them down. And this will be settled up by Jackson Blake. Robinson backhands it to the corner. Ends up right behind Thompson's crease. Van Riemsdyk picks it up. Kotkaniemi to keep it. Near side boards. Washington wants to exit out with it. They will. And here's Anthony Beauvillier. Beauvillier goes into the net. Freddie Andersen scoops it up, making the save and covering it up, denying Beauvillier of anything. Less than 6 minutes ago here. We'll return in just a moment. So back onto the draft. We mentioned about that the Mavericks, a play-in team, being allowed to get the first pick. If that's not the definition of lucking your way onto the number one pick, I don't know what is. And Ian, you mentioned about the coin flip of the Lakers when they got Magic Johnson.
Yeah, I mean, that should have been, it was either that or Chicago.
Yeah, it's an either-or scenario, but in fairness to Chicago, they did end up getting Michael Jordan in the end, so it worked out in the end.
Yeah, that's true.
So,
by the way, did you see he's going to be a contributor when NBC takes over NBA coverage?
I saw that. So NBC's cooking a lot when it comes to their NBA coverage, but they were cooking up until their plans to use Jim Fagan's voice using AI. They cooked up until there.
Yeah. That was a mistake.
Big mistake, because AI uses up a lot of water. Big mistake.
Yeah.
But alongside his airness, Jamal Crawford and Reggie Miller will be game analysts throughout. The studio analysts, they've announced that Carmelo Anthony will be a studio analyst. Mike Tirico and Noah Eagle are the play-by-play men on the NBA on NBC.
Mike Tirico and Noah Eagle. I hear most of their stuff for football. How do you think they'll fare?
They've done basketball games before. We're back here, and this is a tie-up here at the draw. So Ovechkin got plastered down. From the right point, this gets fired wide. Svestikov brings this one up, and it's out for Aho. Up ahead, this could not be batted down by Carrier. William Carrier trying to get it free. Jordan Stahl comes on for the Canes. Chikrin trying to get this one out. On the scramble at the near corner. Several pushes and shoves. Tom Wilson also there. Burns trying to hound it down. Caps trying to protect it. They have it. Carrier still relentlessly in pursuit. Off the far side, Ovechkin from Strome moves around for the far end boards. But there's nothing there as Brent Burns picks it up. This bounced up, and this will be ice. So, in my opinion, Mike Tirico has done NBA before, back when he was with ESPN. He did call Damian Lillard's buzzer beater to advance the Portland Trail Blazers to the second round for the first time in 14 years at that time. And he's solid doing NBA coverage. Noah Eagle was the lead commentator during USA's gold medal run in the Olympics. So,
Oh, wow.
I have faith in him.
Tirico was the... Lillard, he got the shot off. God!
That one, yes!
Okay, yeah, he'll do fine.
Yeah, he'll be good here. At the Hurricanes, on the other hand, they are doing good. Jordan Stahl and dried this one up. Some angry words here from one of the players. As for the far side, Dubois gets turned away. Carolina's just sitting back and relaxing here on defense as they're comfortable playing defense here. Right behind is McMichael, who sets up towards the side. Svetikov almost cut it off. Back behind is Dubois. Up the near side, Carolina wants to get it out, and they will. Goes center, bounced up onto the Washington zone as the Caps look to counter. There's nothing there for them as McMichael sent it down to the far end boards. Dubois shoves Chatfield towards the wall. Jarvis helping out the Canes, but it's held in by the Caps. Chikrin fires, blocked, and it will be fluttered out as the Canes will get a change. All the way back is John Carlson, who sends this one up. Pass too far as it was broken up by Sean Walker. Shane Gostisbehere gets tied up. Jack Rosser with free space up. Taylor Hall. And now here's Walker. Hall wants to free up space. Hall goes back. Here's Rozovic. Deep shot. Made its way to Thompson, who covers. 3:24 to go on the 21st shot of the night for the Canes. There were some key saves left and right for Logan Thompson and the opportunities that he got. Even for the 2 goals that he let up, Jack Rozovic sent one from deep. It was a bouncing puck with Logan Stankoven getting a deflection. 3:24 left in the second period. Thompson 7-5 in his career in the postseason. 229 GAA, 922 save percentage. Split between his postseason career between Vegas and Washington. This faceoff is to his left. Carolina takes it, comes back out towards the point. All the way back for Walker, who fires this one. Stopped by Thompson. That went off his blockers. Rozovic kept it inside. Stankoven's tied up at the near corner. Bounced up front onto the swat, and the Caps will take it from here. Beauvillier, matched by Walker. Hall recollects it at the near half board, sent one around for Gostisbehere behind the crease. Gostisbehere, 3 minutes to go. Scooped up by Hall, who gets tied up. Backhands it deep. Foot race for the puck, wall by Roy. Matt Roy with Jack Rozovic on him. Logan Stankoven joins the battle. Stankoven gets tied up, and up at the near side, Sandin. Protecting it is Brandon Duhaime. Duhaime gets it back on the drop pass for Dowd. Caps are changing lines here. Fired up from Sandin up for Roy. Beauvillier trying to split the defense. Beauvillier fires this one off of Andersen and out of play. Good pacing by Brent Burns to get the shot block out, however. Well, where the situation is, Beauvillier was splitting the gap. Noted playoff performer as Burns got back and got a stick on the puck as soon as Beauvillier fired it. Perhaps Andersen would have made the stop had not been for This taken away by Burns, but that was still a high danger look by Beauvillier. Just the 8th block shot by the Canes in this game. The Caps have 13 of such. Face-off is won by Carolina, and they have iced it. Burns has been effective on the defensive side of the ice with Jacob Slavin. There have been concerns of Brent Burns if his game has fallen off a cliff because he is 40 years old, and after this year he is a free agent, and the future of his career is uncertain from this point.
I'm surprised you used the name Brent Burns and defense in the same sentence. I mean, even in San Jose, he wasn't a defensive defenseman, was he? He was more an offensive defenseman.
He was more offense, but I feel he's playing better defense right next to Jacob Slavin.
Oh, I think there was trip.
And angry wars at the end between John Carlson and William Carrier. The officials stepping in to break the two of them up. You know this is a rivalry because these two hate each other so much. It's just the two rivals separate on a drive down both the I-85 and the I-95. You have to cross the city of Richmond as Tom Wilson does an impression of a flop. He's trying to flip his head back because he's trying to make his say in this. Now we get the call. And yes, Ian, you were right. There is a trip. We also have additional penalties for roughing, one each, as William Carrier and Alex Ovechkin go off for roughing, Dylan Strome for tripping. So the original penalty was tripping. Ovechkin got into the midst of it as he was chiming in over at Tom Wilson. It seemed that Wilson got something. It seemed that Wilson got headbutted in the action, but no penalty there. It's a Carolina power play. Ovechkin goes out for tripping, and the Caps clear this one out. Strome and Carrier each for roughing, but no penalty on the headbutt, which I'm surprised about because normally a headbutt would mean that there will be a penalty. As this is dropped back, Carolina's power play 3 of 8 in this second round, 6 of 19 in the first round. Jarvis, this one up into the air right behind the goal crease and up in the slot. Caps clear it. 30 seconds killed off. Aho, Jarvis, Svechnikov, Blake, and Gostisbehere headline the top unit. This is Carolina's first power play of this game. Here's the drop pass. Aho leads the way for Jarvis and then back. Aho gets one up for Svechnikov, who fires it. Stopped by Thompson. And the rebound comes to the near corner. Svechnikov gets it back over to Blake, who is parked at the point. Gostisbehere. Aho holds top of the right circle. Gostisbehere. Aho one-timer. And that one wide. That was the same place where he scored the series clincher against New Jersey in Game 5 of that series. Moved up by Jarvis at the top of the left point. Gostisbehere twirls around. Aho moved it for Svechnikov. Set up pass over to Gostisbehere, who just held the zone. Aho across the ice. Wilson got his stick on the pass intended for Blake. Blake free space up for Gostisbehere. Final minute of the period. Aho fakes the one-timer. Gets it back for Gostisbehere. Back for Aho. Gostisbehere again. Gostisbehere holds. Left side for Svech. And back for Gostisbehere. Aho. One-timer is kicked out by Thompson. Aho on the keep. Gets this one back towards him. Across the ice for Svechnikov. He is co-stopped by Carlson. Svechnikov tried to get one for Aho. Can't do it there. And Carolina will have to reset. Final seconds of the power play. Wholesale changes here with 5 seconds. Gostisbehere walks the zone. Moves around. Power play over. For the near half boards. Hall holds up. All the way back for Burns. Burns posts one deep. Loose puck. Swept away by the Caps. And this will be going down with 10 seconds on the period. Carolina gets this one down deep. Slavin. Puck is picked up at the far side with Hall setting up. Hall wants to find the open look. Brent Burns at the buzzer! And that did not go. Carolina maintains a 2-0 lead after 2 periods of action. That was the most tense that we've seen in this game. And even though Carolina is undefeated when having a multi-goal lead this season, a 2-goal lead is the most dangerous lead in hockey, and it can be bound to strike anytime soon. But Carolina is not giving Washington any breathing room.
Absolutely. And man, oh man. Despite the 2 goals he's given up, oh my God, Logan Thompson just, I mean, and I'm looking at the 2 goals he gave up. I mean, one of them was a ding off the crossbar that just bounced Carolina's way. And then the other one, actually, they didn't show the other one. Did you say it was a blast from Roslovic?
I think it may have been Roslovic.
Or no, it wasn't Roslovic. It was Gostisbehere.
Yeah, Gostisbehere. Yes, Gostisbehere.
Oh yeah, that was a one-timer he just ripped.
Yes, he ripped that one. Yep. Carolina is putting on a clinic here in Washington. Shots 25-15, Canes. The 2 advantages that Carolina doesn't have are hits and faceoffs, but those are tiny advantages in favor of the Caps. 30-28 in hits, 21-18 in faceoffs. Block shots are 14-8 Caps, but that's technically not an advantage when Carolina is firing everything at the net.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, I just saw this statistic. Switching to basketball real quick, and I'm checking this to be true. Hang on, bear with me for a second. Yeah, the Knicks. What the heck? Oh, wait a minute. Never mind. I thought for a sec they didn't. Actually, no, this still doesn't make sense. The Knicks are perfect at the free throw line, but they've only shot 4.
Oh.
And meanwhile, Boston is 10 of 15.
Well, we're not box score watchers, but even though the box score mates they say that the free throw differential is favoring one team, I'm not watching that game, so I can't tell what is happening here in terms of what are the calls for the fouls here. At this point, we're just watching a box score. But
yeah, that's true. I mean, no, I understand you, but when you see a disparity like that, it's like, wow.
You think that the Celtics are driving to the paint a lot in this game when looking at the box score.
Yeah.
That's how I see it.
Which, if you look, yes, and actually no. They've shot 37 attempts so far, made 20. 24 of those have been from 3.
And
so they're not really going to the paint a lot, which means the Knicks must be playing sloppy.
Yeah, I feel that the Knicks are just. I get the feeling that the Knicks, they are 20 of 47, and they fired 22 of those from 3. I feel they're trying to match the Celtic style of game, and it's not working for them. The Celtic style is firing the free when they get open looks, preferably from the corner. That's been their bread and butter.
Yeah.
That's not the Knicks style.
Nope.
And at halftime, with the Celtics up 62-51, you would think that they will have key contributors all around. Well, Jalen Brunson's been their go-to guy, unsurprisingly. 13 points, 5 assists. He's the only one of the Knicks to shoot free throws. And Karl Anthony Towns, 10 points, 8 rebounds. Meanwhile, you have Jason Tatum, who is hearing all the outside noise. Will the real Jason Tatum please stand up? Well, you want to hear this? 20 points, 6 rebounds, 2 assists, 2 steals, 2 blocks, 8 of 13 shooting, 4 of 7 from free.
Yep, that'll do it.
That's the type of efficient night that will get headliners. Well, I know there's a lot of Jason Tatum hate around, but I'll say this. At least in the eyes of people, he's just corny, but that's nothing compared to Matthew Tkachuk.
I don't hate Jason Tatum. I hate the Celtics game.
Yeah,
more
it's
than
just
anything.
Yeah, if anything, I hate this. Yeah, I don't like the Celtics style of play. I don't have anything against Tatum. And given that he went to a North Carolina school, Duke, I just don't see any and given his style of play, with the way that he goes on the court, I don't see any reason to jab at him.
Yeah. Now, you mentioned Matthew Tkachuk, but I want to talk about the other game tonight because, Alec, by all accounts, the Vegas Golden Knights should not have a win right now, or if they do, it should read an overtime win.
Because if it wasn't for Riley Smith firing a prayer, regardless of how you view about Stuart Skinner, if he leaves his crease, Smith is going to fire off Draisaitl's stick. If Skinner stays in his crease, Smith is going to fire short side past Skinner. So what is Skinner supposed to do?
Yeah, I mean, the fact of the matter is, his defense let him down because how do you let Vegas get the puck back with under, well, I say that, and the Blues choked on the 6-on-5. But, so maybe I shouldn't be talking as a Blues fan, but actually, no, I will. How do you do that?
No.
And I can't even call this, if you're a goaltender, 10-to-goal moment, because I really think if Draisaitl's stick blade isn't in the way, maybe the puck goes in, but I think it most likely hits the post and bounces off, and they're in overtime.
That's how I feel that same way. That Smith would have had a better chance scoring a goal when firing off a Draisaitl's stick because of the time Smith had in shooting that puck. If Draisaitl's stick doesn't get in the way, that puck still goes in, but there will be no time on the clock when it goes in.
Right.
That's why I call it a prayer from Smith.
Yeah. And again, look, Steve Dangle's thing, you know, I saw a lot of people posting that after the game, but final seconds as a goaltender, what are you supposed to do? Because the guy's basically one-on-one. There is no one around him to play defense, which means it's Skinner versus Smith. And at that point, what do you do?
Yeah, you're all alone, and you have no defensive help. It's damned if you do, and damned if you don't.
Yep. I don't know. Regardless. So, Vegas is down 2-1. They have a shot to tie it back up before going back to Vegas. Oilers, you better take care of business, because you don't want to go back to the fortress with the series tied.
No. And meanwhile, here's some news around the NHL where Miro Heiskanen is on track to return for this second round series against Winnipeg. He's still day to day, but the latest update from Peter DeBoer has said, quote, "I'm still sticking by what I projected, that we would see him in the second round." The last time we saw him, January, where he was involved in a knee-on-knee collision with Mark Stone that took him out of the game. He had knee surgery, and he's been working his way back into the lineup ever since Winnipeg's opening round series against the Blues, and Dallas' opening round series against the Avs. Monday was the off day, but still, Heiskanen getting back into the lineup, it would be huge for the Stars.
Oh, yeah. Because he's their top defenseman, right?
Yes.
Oh, yeah, and let's see, he pairs with, help me, Alec.
Yeah, he's usually on the top pairing, where he and Thomas Harley have been a dynamic 1-2 punch.
Oh, yeah. Wow, if they get him back. Huh. Yeah, Winnipeg's down 2-1 right now, I think.
Yes, Dallas is up 2-1 in this series. But that's with Harley filling in impressively in the absence of Heiskanen, especially on the power play. And we're seeing guys on the defensive side stepping up, such as Cody Ceci, who is handling an increase of over 2 minutes per game in ice time. And the third pairing, too, with Leon Bischow and Alexander Petrovic. Yeah, Leon Bischow and Alex Petrovic playing effectively on the third pairing. They stood out in the AHL as the Texas Stars' top pairing, and they understand one another. This was Bishop's preferred pairing heading into the playoffs, that he had Petrovic play next to him.
Wow. Talk about a stroke of luck for the Stars. So your third pairing is two guys who've been playing with each other since they were in the minors together.
Yes.
Good Lord. And you couldn't ask for anything better on any line, but your third line? We need a third defensive pairing. We've got... what about these guys? What's their track record? Well, they played with each other. They played on the same pairing throughout their minor league career. My brother in Christ, run that shit by me again.
Oh. And Bishop's a stud, too. Tenacious hitter.
You mean we don't have to stick two guys who've never played with each other on a defensive pairing and hope they figure it out?
Oh. And Bishop is no slouch either. He's a heavy shot blocker and a towering hitter on the ice. Whenever he's out there on the ice, John and I have talked about this before, but he reminds us of Chris Pronger in a limited stint whenever he's out there.
Yes, I remember Chris Pronger. He played for I know the name. For the life of me, I'm having trouble figuring out.
Pronger used to play on St. Louis, of course.
Yeah. Yes, that's why I've heard the name. Did he win a cup somewhere?
Anaheim.
Yes, 2007.
now I remember. I watched a documentary on. I watched the documentary on him or on that team.
Mm-hmm. He was on the top pairing next to Scott Niedermayer.
Yep. Wow. It's amazing. You know, I look back at the Leafs' legacy of failure and how they traded away that pick, and Tree's saying, "What? What? You think the Scott Niedermayer guy is gonna do anything? He's a bum. He's from the wrong side of Canada." Oh boy.
Oh my! How that blew up.
Yep. And all because you wanted Tom Curvers.
Ooh.
Yikes.
And meanwhile, on the other side for Petrovic, it's hard to believe that this is the same Alex Petrovic who was protected by the Florida Panthers and hasn't even played a game before last season in 5 years in the NHL level. That Petrovic, he was bouncing around AHL team to AHL team until finally he landed with the Dallas Stars organization, got a chance with the Texas Stars, and then got back into NHL playing action. It's hard to believe it's the same Petrovic who was protected alongside Mark Pysyk over Riley Smith and Jonathan Marchessault. Talk about a redemption arc.
Wow. Just the way it got better for them in recent years, but man, looking back at how they screwed that up. Actually, it's not just them. How every team that let one of those players go, how it all got so screwed up for them.
Ooh.
I mean, the fact that, Alec, for some teams, didn't really hurt them in the long run. You can look at Columbus not protecting William Karlsson.
But that was unexpected.
And yeah, that was unexpected. Plus, they had guys like Josh Anderson and Artemi Panarin. Like, what was really going to happen with that? But teams like Minnesota and Anaheim. Minnesota gave up Eric Holla and Alex Tuck. And Anaheim, geez, they may have suffered the worst because they had Shea Theodore.
Yeah, Theodore was
in their system.
Yeah, Theodore was an emerging blue liner on their system, and yet he was traded away to ensure that they select Clayton Stoner.
Yeah, and then let's see. Who's another one that really, really got dinged and hasn't had a lot of success? Let's see. Who did they get from? I forget. Who did they get from Buffalo?
We'll have to get back onto that because we're getting back here onto the action. Third period is about to start, but if you're asking that question, they got William Carrier from Buffalo. We're underway here, third period. Washington down 2-0 in this game. Carolina, of course, hit the lead. As the Let's Go Canes chants here. TJ Warren was the siren sounder of this third period, the former Indiana Pacer and Phoenix Sun. But no to Caniac. The Caps have 22 straight playoff road losses when trailed by at least 2 goals, excluding the bubble. Up the far side, Carolina will hold on to this one with Svechnikov for Jarvis. Jarvis gets it inside here. Svechnikov fires it, and that one went by Thompson but missed it. The Capitals will take this back up, flip it onto the near corner. Tom Wilson was tied up by Dmitry Orlov behind net. So was Connor McMichael as it bounced behind net. Aho trying to play this one out. Up the far half boards. Jarvis boarded this one up. Here is Svechnikov who gets this one through. Andrei Svechnikov up the near side. Onto the far corner. The Capitals all over this one. They want to get something here, but they mostly provide nothing. Glove down by Chatfield. The Hurricanes are such a frustrating team to play against. Of how stingy they are. Caps scoop it up, but they hesitated. And this lands right onto Freddie Andersen. It's Pierre-Luc Dubois who wants to spin that one around. And Tom Wilson tried to get onto the heads of the Canes. To no avail. And yes, I found it, Ian. The Golden Knights got William Carrier from the Sabres.
Ouch.
Yeah, he merged into a quality fourth liner for wherever he's been through, including Vegas. Off the faceoff, here's Chikrin. Loads one up and blasts it. Blocked in front. Excellent effort there by Seth Jarvis, who takes it a one-on-one around Chikrin. Jarvis fires. Carlson was there to block it. Svechnikov to hold it. Van Riemsdyk to send it around. But he is held up at the far corner with McMichael trying to pry free. And it'll be scooped up by Protas. Alexei Protas behind the net will send this one out. Up front is Dubois. Dubois wink right. And this will be sent up front. And back across. Dubois missed it entirely. Dubois trying to skate inside. One timer. Van Riemsdyk. He was falling down the shot. Dubois and Protas hold inside. Protas fires. That one up high. Gets tangled up on the rebound. Walker there. Chikrin can't hold it as it's cleared out all the way. Van Riemsdyk the first one to the puck in its own zone. 2-0 Canes. The goals coming from Shane Gostisbehere and Seth Jarvis. Freddie Andersen trying to go for his second straight postseason shutout as a Cane. Up the far side, intercepted by Carolina. Brent Burns up the near side. Bounced up off Rozovic. This one's deflected inside by Rozovic. Taylor Hall puts one on Thompson. Rebound! And that one, Thompson got it too. Kotkaniemi rushes in to protect the puck. Taylor Hall blocked off by Thompson as it made its way to him. Carolina peppering Logan Thompson early with shots. So the Travis Oates, Calvin Pickard, Lucas Biza, Timo Pulkkinen, John Merrill, William Carrier, Cody Eakin, Tomas Nosek, Jonathan Marchessault, Braden McNabb, Connor Brickley, Chris Forburn, Pierre-Edouard Bellemare, Jason Garrison, Jean-Francois Berube, James Neal, Derek Englund, Brandon Leipzig, Kyle Miller, Mark Raffat, David Schlemko, David Perron, Oscar Lindberg, Griffin Reinhart, Alexei Emelin, Clayton Stoner, Eric Holla, William Carlson, Trevor Van Riemsdyk, Marc-Andre Fleury, Nate Schmidt. That is the expansion draft order for Vegas in that year. Oh.
Wow.
And that's without accounting the trades here. The breakout pass is blocked, intended for Blake. As Washington moves back up with this, as Matt Roy holds on. Roy sends this one up. This will be bouncing off the end boards right behind Freddie. Gostisbehere copped it up for Matt Roy, sorry. Thought it was oh my goodness, tongue twister. Kotkaniemi plays it out. And this will be grabbed up by the Caps as Kotkaniemi, or rather Blake, falls down. Fourth line's out there for Washington as Dow plays it up. The Canes will scoop it up and will move back with this. Jarvis got tied up, slapped back inside by Carolina, where Thompson gloves it down and will play this one out. Right behind the crease. Boos raining down here from the Carolina crowd. Sent up through the near end boards. And right back for John Carlson. And this may be played with a high stick. And accounting for trades, the Buffalo Sabres 6th round pick in exchange for Vegas selecting Carrier. Panthers trading Riley Smith. Trading a trade to Vegas in exchange for Vegas selecting Jonathan Marchessault. But as we look at the top of the list, Brian Boucher, 135 GAA. Marty Turco, 144. John Gibson, 155. Olaf Kozik, 160. That's lowest GAA in a postseason series. John Carlson waits and now fires this one around the end boards. In front was Wilson. Freddie was there. And turn him away. Carlson picks it up and will move this one up onto the near side. Wilson can't grab it. Slavin plays this one out. Bouncing puck. Carlson tied up. So be played up by Stahl on for Jordan Martinook. Backhand sit deep. All the way down low. Thompson Met by Jordan Stahl, but got it off on time. Up the near side, almost was cut away by Dmitry Orlov, but this exits out to the Carolina bench. The cross-ice pass from Wilson. So including those trades, the Hurricanes trading Boston's 5th round pick in exchange for Vegas selecting Connor Brickley. The Jets trading their 1st round pick and a 3rd round pick in exchange for Vegas selecting Chris Forburn and Columbus's 1st round pick in the draft. So in terms of trades in the Vegas expansion draft, it's crazy how so many teams screwed up.
Yeah. Also, I just saw someone post, don't ever say WWE is fake after the draft lottery tonight.
Oh. You know, they're are they wrong though? But as Jarvis got turned away. Oh my goodness. That was a comedy post and a half. Oh. And here's Jarvis. We'll poke it away from the Caps. Svechnikov. Oh my goodness. But at least WWE is what is actual entertainment. Because it's fun to watch.
Exactly.
Up the far side, Roy's on the hold. Gets the feed right back. Roy closes in. Across the ice and they score! Jacob Chikrin ends the shutout bid. There's a huge goal for the Capitals. What more can Freddie Andersen do? There's nothing as he was beat out. It's a dump puck as it was picked up by Pierre-Luc Dubois as it flutters back onto Matt Roy. Dubois goes back onto him as he looks across the ice. Mangiapane was closed off. And Chikrin resets, moves down low, calls for the open puck, and taps it in. Andersen is focused onto Chikrin, but there was somebody who was trying to block this shot, Shane Gostisbehere, and that prevented Andersen from going all the way across. And that's what led to the goal. Still was a 2-1 Carolina lead. But Washington gets the necessary goal, but they have lost their last 22 playoff games in which they're trailing by multiple goals, excluding the bubble. Thompson covers up. A much needed goal here for Chikrin, but still, no goals for Alex Ovechkin, let alone points in this series. DeRoy set up Chikrin as this one exits out. 14:42 remains here. 14:42 remains here in this third period. Chikrin, he calls for the puck and then has all sorts of daylight to fire at the net. He hung on to that puck and gets Freddie Andersen to overcommit. The Caps have 25 comeback wins this season, leading the NHL. But he had no comeback wins in the playoffs when down by multiple goals. They're facing that situation. Up the near side, the Canes go back in here. 2-on-1 here. Cross-ice pass and it skipped over. Blake stick and Blake gets hauled down. Same 5-on-5 here, speeding up. Are the Caps up at the near half boards. Chikrin gets met. Beauvillier's behind the crease. Kotkaniemi backhands this one away from him. Mangiapane ties up his man. Back out in front. Gostisbehere tying them up. And then this one scooted down the ice. This will be iced. The Capitals will get an ozone draw with 13:53.
Okay. Hurricanes.
Come on, guys. This is getting a little tight.
It is. Poke free by Carolina. Gostisbehere got held up by Sandin. Up the near side boards is Ovechkin. Was yet to score here. Tom Wilson! Fought off by Freddie Andersen and Martinook clears it down. Foot race for the puck is going to be won by Sandin. Backhands it out to safety. Where it's picked up by Wilson. Across the ice, too far for Strome and cleared out. Okay, so we get a change here. Banked off the near side for Wilson. Wilson focuses inside. Walker scoops it. Walker backhands for Jacob Slavin. Slavin waits. Will break it out for Jordan Stahl up the near side. Stahl, this bounce off of Trevor Van Riemsdyk, who gets fought off and for the far corner. Picked up by Martinook, who gets it back up to the right point. Deep shot. Walked in front and followed up for Wilson. Tom Wilson can't get it out. Bouncing puck near the penalty box doors. There was someone in the way. Canes get it back up through center. Seth Jarvis gets forced wide by Chikrin. Gets it back. Svechnikov can't pick this one up at the near corner. And McMichael sends it through center for Dubois. Dubois high and wide over Andersen and played onto the top of the right circle. And McMichael, who was pickpocketed by Jarvis. 3-on-2 the other way. Drop pass for Jarvis. Spinorama Svechnikov! And that bounced off the post! How much more snake bit can a man get in this series? I've lost count of how many posts that Svechnikov has hit. And here's a 2-on-1 the other way. Cross-ice pass gets blocked off. Excellent defense by the Canes as they focus back for center. Dmitry Orlov slows down when he gets a revenge on his former team. From the left point, fires it around for the end boards. Up the far corner, Protus will reset. Onto the near side, Taylor Hall to block off the pass there. Eller, right behind onto the goal mouth, over the far half boards. Cleared up through center. Canes get it inside. Picked up now by Matt Royce. He got tied up. Taylor Hall. Going down here, Stankoven got in the way. But it gets picked up by the Caps. Up through center, Eller. Sent it inside. Walker arrives first before he gets hit twice. Up the far half boards. Fired on side. All alone is Taylor Hall! He scores! What a feed! What a goal!
Taylor bleeping Hall. Oh, you know what? Stankoven and Hall. Don't know. Stankoven has made his mark, but Taylor Hall, underrated acquisition, paying dividends for the Canes right now.
A heads-up play as Taylor Hall receives the breakout feed and beats Logan Thompson. Walker's side puts it right through to make it 3-1 Carolina. Oh, this place is going crazy. His second goal at the postseason, first of the series. Wow.
That's excellent.
Yeah. What a chemistry this has been. Taylor Hall and Logan Stankoven on the second line. These two know each other well in their short time together, but the two midseason acquisitions, Hall and Stankoven, have fit in seamlessly here. No Mikko Rantanen, no problem. Up the left side. Bounces up and around as it's played out for Burns. Burns. Stretch pass for Kokiniemi. Kokiniemi moves it up for the middle. Re-entry for Jackson Blake. Blake. Glove save by Thompson as he catches it with his glove hand. 10:56 to go. Third period. Some pushing and shoving afterwards, but not much out of that. So the goals here. Chikrin from Roy and Dubois. Hall from Rozovic and Walker. But I wanted to take some time that the second line has been perhaps the most underrated line on Carolina.
So, Alec, pivoting just real quick to baseball, I want to shout out someone from the Royals real quick. Bobby Wood Jr. hit a triple. He is the time it took for him to get from home to third, 11.0 seconds.
Oh, that sounds like a 100-meter dash time.
I'm pretty sure that's somewhere around 270 feet.
It's 270 feet.
In 11 seconds.
And you guys are up 4-0 on the Houston Astros right now.
7-0.
Yeah, 7-0 on the Houston Astros, yes.
Yeah. Let me tell you, that doesn't happen often. This team, this team does not score over 3 runs often, but when they do, it's big.
And it's the legs that pay off huge dividends that the Royals score with their legs.
Yeah.
Because that's their style of play. And even though this is rare, the scoring started with the Michael Massey home run in the second inning, 384 feet to right, but then the party just got started. Jonathan India, 2 of 3 in this game.
Yeah, he has been productive at third base. Just put him in second, though.
Matt Roy gets tangled up. Jack Roslovic with the heads-up feed as Hall was all alone at the Capitals' blue line to receive the feed from Roslovic. Everyone in Washington was caught off guard. And Svechnikov has 6 goals in his postseason with the most casual reaction. Tie up at the draw. The Caps take it up. Throw the near side. Flipped on the backhand. Settled down by Carolina. Hall from Roslovic and Walker. Let's go Canes chance here. And this one bat down on the backhand. The puck was played by a high stick. And somewhere in this crowd are TJ Warren and William Byron. So the late game here, Golden Knights Oilers. Never forget when he dropped 53 points on the Sixers in the bubble. 10:42 to go here in the third period. As it is Jordan Staal on the faceoff dot. He wins it. Slavin will pry it free for Walker. Walker fires around the far boards. First towards the puck is Washington as it's moved for Wilson. Rink wide, the pass is poked away. Sandin. His man gets twisted and turned on the reverse hit. John Carlson sent one around. And this will be bounced out. And Slavin tried to do a hand pass. That didn't work. Stretch pass intercepted by Slavin. He returns with this one. Has Carrier coming to the net. Slavin backhands one. Base way to Thompson. And he'll cover up as he got quipped. Someone may have got quipped. Seeing there was a stick in the lane. Carrier was in the midst of the scuffle. And Sandin wants to check up on Thompson. And up the far boards, Slavin tried the seeing eye shot on his backhand. And Carrier, he gets tied up by Carlson. He might have got elbowed up. He took an elbow to the head. And Thompson takes a knee to the head from Jordan Staal at the end. But to be fair, their momentums were in a position where they could not slow down at any point. So incidental contact from Staal, I can see why that's not a penalty.
Well, if you also look at the replay, I mean, where does Staal have to go? He's got a guy on his right side. He can't safely launch himself out of the way anyway.
No, he can't. Washington got some dangerous chances, but there was nothing that Staal could do as Jarvis, he got tangled up on the dumping. But he manages to keep a hold of himself. Up the middle, the Canes are reset. Chatfield sends it around. Here's Sebastian Aho. Gets boxed out by Trevor Van Riemsdyk, former teammates. Moved up by the Caps. Alexei Protas gets bumped by Shane Gostisbehere. Aho intercepts. Will be gloved down by Van Riemsdyk. Up the far side. Pierre-Luc Dubois tangled up by Jack Roslovic. And up at the left point, recollected by the Canes. Moving back up with this at the near half boards. Stankoven couldn't get a stick onto it. As this gets bounced inside by Dowd. Gostisbehere cuts out the passing lane. Back down deep as Hall will leave behind for Stankoven. Logan Stankoven moves this one around. Hall gets cut off. Bounce up and around. Hall trying to keep it in. Stankoven tied up by 2 Caps. Hall trying to backhand it in deep. And there's a tripping penalty against Logan Stankoven. So Washington will go to the power play of 8:46. Jack Roslovic in the midst of that scuffle. I don't know which one of Roslovic or Stankoven is going to go off. I thought I saw 22 as Dow makes his way to the bench.
I thought it was Hall. I thought it was Hall that tripped him.
Yeah, I thought it was Hall. Yeah, because I thought it was Stankoven at first, but it was Hall who tripped him up. So the man who scored the latest goal is going to the box to kill this and sets the Canes up with a PK. But as we go to break, taking a look here between the Celtics and Knicks, it's tight. And in tight games, the Knicks like that. The Knicks love tight games.
That they do.
Yep, and even for the Celtics being up 83-81, there's a part of me that says the Knicks have them right where they want them.
Yeah. I mean, I really don't think the Knicks are going to lose in the consecutive games in the Garden.
No. And Jalen Brunson, we mentioned about him earlier. He has 29 points so far in this game and is showing no signs of slowing down. And the free throw count, it's now close to even up. The Knicks have 10 free throws. The Celtics 15. They have not shot a free throw in this quarter. Jason Tatum has 29 points. Derek White 23 points. Jaylen Brown 16 points. Brunson 29. Karl-Anthony Towns 19 points with 11 rebounds. So the Knicks are catching up.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, the Royals are playing some excellent defense, and Bobby is not playing shortstop this game.
Where is he playing?
He's a DH.
DH. They let Michael Garcia at shortstop this time.
Yeah. Trust me, it's a first. It's a first for me as well. He may have been DH. Well, he was third base for a bit. May have been DH like once or twice. Anyways, we're back.
The Washington Capitals almost got close to pulling within one again. Here's Dylan Strome who walks the point. He'll go across for Chikrin. Blast it! Blocked by Martinook. And he broke his stick in the process. He's going to get some stick taps on the way to getting a new stick. What a block there for Marty. Jacob Chikrin will restart. The former Arizona Coyote and one-time Ottawa Senator who moves it up the middle. Sent inside. Wilson got dumped by Andrei Svechnikov. And that's going to be a two-man advantage. Or rather, it's Dmitry Orlov who dumped Tom Wilson. Orlov shaking his head. It's an interference penalty. But no love lost between former teammates, Ian.
Nope. And really, it may be a two-man advantage, but I don't think Hurricanes fans really care. Well, no, they do care a little bit, but it's on Tom Wilson.
Yeah, I mean, they are cheering at the fact that Orlov dumped them. But among the remaining teams in the playoffs, the Capitals have the fewest power play goals in the postseason with 4. Carolina is tied for the most power play goals with 9. The other team that has 9 power play goals, look to the team that plays in Northern Texas.
Yep.
Faceoff is won by the Caps. Here's Chikrin. Ovechkin. That's blasted wide. Is it his time to shine? He has not scored in this series yet. Chikrin holds on to it. Chikrin to Strome. Dylan Strome holds on to this one. Ovechkin tries again and scores! Finally, he gets the monkey off his back. He has not had a time this series where he has not scored in 4 consecutive games, and that remains true now. It's his first point of the series, first goal of the series, and Washington is within 1. Time and space, as Carolina's PK was confused. You're down 2 men. So what are you supposed to do when you see him do the thing at the left circle when you're down 2 men and you're out of position to make the play? Not much.
At that point, you pray.
Yeah. But outside that, Carolina's done an excellent job at boxing him out and not allowing him any open looks. He's still out there. You know how Spencer Carbery loves to double shift him on the power play. Ovechkin, first of the series. Tom Wilson moves it up for the near side. Burns is there and is cleared out by the Canes. if I heard a Wilson sucks chant here at Raleigh. Jacob Chikrin twirling around, trying to set up. Here's a drop. Dylan Strome moves it inside. Does not have any time and space. Chikrin wants to find Ovechkin again. He'll shoot it this time around. Was kicked out by Freddie. Caps keep it as Dylan Strome moves it back for Chikrin. Jacob Chikrin fakes the drive and goes to Strome. Strome lets one go. Walked in front. Chopped that once and then twice. 2-on-1 shorthanded. Jordan Staal there. At the right circle. A shot. Turned away by Thompson. Off the blocker. Ovechkin from Strome and Chikrin. Jordan Martinook from Jordan Staal on that shorthanded 2-on-1. Right behind is John Carlson, who gets set. Carlson leads the way at the left side. Caps fired in with 6:31 to go here in the third. Picked up at the near corner, but now it's a tangle. Comes back to the point. Ovechkin waits, fires, blocked in front. Kane's trying to do it again here. This time it's a 1-on-1. They'll wait this time around at the right point. Chipped in front and fired right onto Thompson. Picked up by Ovechkin, who waits up. Carlson will move it up for Dubois. Pierre-Luc Dubois, final seconds of the man advantage. Towards the left side, Burns places one in front. There was a stick in the lane, and the second power play is over. Loose stick on the ice. That belonged to one of the Caps. Beauvillier's out there. Sandin picks it up. Rasmus Sandin sends it free. Up the right side. This will be collected. And this will be a Washington penalty as Freddie Andersen will go to the bench. Not what they need for their comeback efforts. Jack Roslovic moves inside for Taylor Hall. Streaking down the far side. And on the touch pass, this will be picked up by Andrew Mangiapane. And when we come back, it'll be Dubois who will be sent to the box. Carolina with a chance to put on the dagger here at Raleigh as Dubois. He was tied up with Roslovic away from the play. Not what the Caps need.
Not at all. And I gotta tell you, the Canes right now, I mean, again, look, was the Orlov penalty ill-advised? Absolutely. But are you really gonna boo the fact that he laid out Tom Wilson?
No.
No, not really. And you kill off the other power play, and now you got one of your own. Just go ahead and grab that goal back.
Exactly. Get back up by 2 and put the dagger on the Caps' comeback hopes. And stop me if you heard this before. The Mets and clutch home runs, or I should say, the Mets and clutch runs.
Not something I've been used to hearing, but I'm always open to try new things.
I mean, they were known for clutch runs last year. Juan Soto with a sacrifice ground out. They scoring Tyrone Taylor, and Pete Alonso reached in on an infield basis to score Luis Angel Acuna. But I gotta say, why are you wasting Paul Skeens, Pirates?
Alec. Oh my God. The Pirates need a new owner, and quickly. I mean, they need to. Someone needs to find incriminating evidence of Paul Nutting, and they need to find it fast.
They need to. Because there's no way that he continues to be cheap each year after year. Washington on the PK again. They've been one of the best penalty-killing teams in the regular season. Aho, Svechnikov, and then back towards the left point. Gostisbehere floats one around the end boards. Already gets Blake around the boards, collected by Matt Roy. Looking for a lane to clear, and he does so. Right onto Andersen. Freddie Andersen in the final 5 minutes. 1:20 left on the man advantage. Slowing up is Jackson Blake, who finds Sebastian Aho to Andrei Svechnikov. Towards the near half boards. Gostisbehere will go across for Blake. Blake will drop again. Gostisbehere cycles his one. Aho switches spots with Blake. Gostisbehere continuing to wait. Aho at the same spot that Gostisbehere is at. Will send one down low. Gostisbehere one more time. Gostisbehere. Jarvis fakes the one-timer. Gostisbehere continuing to hold on to it. 50 seconds left. Jarvis and Blake. And then back go around for Jarvis. Ian Gostisbehere manning the point as this one bounced up. Gostisbehere trying to keep, which he does, at the deep right point. Send one towards Jarvis. Has an open look. Fires it high. And it's out of play. With 37 on the man advantage. 4-10 in the period. That power play goal from Alex Ovechkin was one that he needed so much. And flutter towards the net. Jacob Slavin on the bench as he waits his turn. In his 3-2 hockey game, Canes going for the dagger. Hall, Stankoven, Kokiniemi, Rozovic, and Burns on the second unit. The Caps win it, but quickly it's grabbed by the Canes. Just cleared out by Washington with 30 seconds left on the man advantage. Carolina forced all the way back. Pass up front for Rozovic. Jack Rozovic sends it to the far side. Driving down low. Now back around for Rozovic. All the way to the point is Burns. Burns for Hall. Hall will rip it, and it's caught by Thompson. 13 seconds to go on the man advantage. Already 34 shots on goal for the Hurricanes. Washington has 21 shots on goal. That's the shot advantage here. So, it's of note, Logan Thompson has been seeing shot after shot go to him. But he's been solid otherwise. Sean Walker will walk one towards the right point and then gets it back. Here's a deep shot that was blocked away. 5 seconds to go on the man advantage. Out inside by Hall. This bounced onto a cap. Dubois out the box. Glove down here is Dubois, who tries to feed it past Walker. He will not let him. Dubois all tangled up at the near half boards. Washington needs a goal to tie. Taken up by Hall. Will leave it up for a 3-on-1. Throwing up as Sean Walker closes in. He scores! Sean Walker! That could be the dagger in this game. The fourth Carolina goal. How is it possible that you give up a 3-on-1 right after you kill off a penalty? And at this point, you're just wondering with question marks. If you're Washington, Carolina is putting the Capitals on a headlock. And with these rush chances left on right, a 3-on-1, of course, you have to score from there, and Walker made no mistake.
I don't even know what to say with that. I mean, I've seen plenty of 2-on-1 on man breaks, but 3? You got 3 guys on one defender. Well, Capitals, you may have won a cup, but you ain't getting past the second round.
Ooh. The odds are stacked up against them at this point because drawing 3-1, the odds are not favorable. Swiped in deep by Carolina. The Caps need 2. Keep an eye on Logan Thompson in the event he's going to get pulled. Down the near side. Thompson gets a signal from Spencer Carbery. Andersen fought off by Wilson as it goes right behind the net. McMichael butt bludgeoned by Orlov. Right behind Andersen as this gets played out. Right along the boards. And here's the open crease here. On the look. And that was not blocked, but Svechnikov gets it back. Bingo! His 7th goal this postseason is just more salt onto the wound on the Washington Capitals. Canes up 5-2.
It's been real, Washington. Goodbye. Or until Game 5.
The Hurricanes are always a frustrating team to play against. While the initial shot gets blocked, he gets it back to put the dagger onto the Capitals' throats. Rasmus Sandin had trouble past this Hurricanes defense. He could not hold up as it was taken away, and that set up the 3-on-1 rush for Sean Walker. All the Caniacs here so happy to have witnessed a critical masterclass from Rod Brindamore. They'll get some more chances, but this is just more salt onto the wound if they were to score another one. Washington, the top seed in the Eastern Conference. This puck exits out, but you wonder why Carolina is so good at home. You're seeing it front and center now for those watching this game on the TV. The Canes have been opportunistic going after the puck, and defensively, they are ferocious.
Absolutely. Alex, I know we've said it every year that the Canes have been in the playoffs these past 2 or 3 years, but good Lord, if there is a team, there is a Carolina Hurricanes team to make it past the conference finals. It's this one.
There'll be a Canes power play because of a delay of game penalty on Andrew Mangiapane. But no matter, the Canes are not aiming for goals here in the final minutes of regulation. They're just looking to just run down the clock. They don't care if the Capitals are just going to clear down the ice. They've already won this game. All they plan on doing is just make sure that Washington does not get the puck. They're just holding on to this one right now. Here's Burns with a shot that gets blocked, and Washington gets this one out as Wade Minter, the PA announcer, announces the Svechnikov goal. 80 seconds ago until this is all wraps. And of course, Rob Brindamore saying the second unit out there, knowing the damage that the top unit can do. Oh, got off as Burns keeps this one. It's to go out of play, but it's just more added time onto the end of this one. It's 1:06 to go here. And, what I'm saying is for selfish reasons, but guess it's an early birthday gift.
Yes, sir.
Ho. This feels so good. Hostile environment. And I know for a fact that there's a lot more to come here. The rebound swept away. Final minute. And the Canes fans are going to be waving their towels here right now. Tom Wilson touches.
Have the lead.
Yeah, a 3-1 series lead. This will be moved up by Jordan Martinook. It's just a mix of players out there on the ice. They're not saying the usual top unit out there on the ice. You have some others trying to factor in as Thompson makes a glove save. Well, that'll add to a highlight reel. Well, not exactly in this game, but it's personal highlight reel. Just flashes the letter as Sweet Caroline plays here at Lenovo Center. That's basically the end of game anthem for when the Hurricanes are winning.
Excellent.
Yep. You got some others. The others on the man advantage getting some power play time. Jordan Martinook, Eric Robinson, Sean Walker, who are usually defensive-minded guys. They're out there on the power play for the purpose of playing keep away, not for the purpose of scoring. Fans on their feet here as they rise for their Carolina Hurricanes, counting down the seconds. They're taking a 3-1 series lead and being one win away from the Eastern Conference Finals. 10 seconds left as Gossip has no intention of going up the zone. The Carolina Hurricanes win big, and Raleigh stands loud.
Excellent. That is excellent.
Oh, what a win it is. Not only for Freddie Andersen, but also for Shane Gostisbehere, Sean Walker, Seth Jarvis, everyone on the Hurricanes. The Hurricanes are a perfect 8-0 when taking a 3-1 series lead in their franchise history, which is positive news for them. The last time that Washington ever came back from a 3-1 series deficit is 2009, when they did so as a 2 seed against the New York Rangers in the Eastern Conference quarterfinal, before eventually losing to the Pittsburgh Penguins in a hard-fought 7-game series where they blew a 2-0 series lead.
That was the trend around that time anyway.
Oh, what a game it was for Carolina. Gotta feel good if you're a Caniac. Oh. Anything else before we wrap this one up, Ian?
No, sir. Just that it is still a very tight game between New York and Boston in Madison Square Garden. And by tight, I mean a 1-point game with just under 9 minutes left. Head over there, folks, because while you wait for the Golden Knights and while you wait for the Golden Knights and the Edmonton Oilers, trust me, you're gonna want to tune into this.
This one's going to be a tight one. We'll see if the Knicks can pull it out. But guess we'll be having both games out at the same time. But in the end, that's all from Raleigh. Alongside Ian Genge, Alex, now be with you. So long, everyone.
Yes, sir.